All right, ladies and germs, it's time for the late night boxing talks that ain't that late because I want to wrap it up early. And it's fight week. It's Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk fight week. To some people, that fight is a fight that qualifies for lineal status. I would say that I am one of those people. That at this time, Tyson Fury having announced his retirement for the second time, whether you believe that he will stay retired or not is not the question. You know what I mean? And I see that a lot of people, just I was goody Dougie, was goody Avo, was goody Jack. I see that a lot of people are treating it as if it's a question as to whether or not Tyson Fury will stay retired, right? When at the end of the day, if we talking about lineal, Tyson Fury announced his retirement 2 times already. Whether or not he want to stay retired, that's whatever. But he already announced that. So I take that at face value that if you tell the world and you tell Ring Magazine that you retired, all right, then you retired then. It is what it is. You retired and you not the lineal no more. Lineal at heavyweight has been the subject of some debate because some people question whether or not Tyson Fury was ever lineal to begin with. If you think about the lineage, a lot of people say that Vladimir was the lineal champion at the time that Fury beat him. I agree with that. I do believe that he was the lineal champion because even though he didn't fight his brother, Vitaly, after Vitaly retired in 2013, Vladimir fought everybody. So, yeah, he was lineal after Vitaly retired. Perhaps not while Vitaly was there because, they were the number one and number two heavyweights in the world, likely in those rank standings. But shortly after he retired in 2015, Vladimir was number one. He was the guy. He had all the belts. It wasn't Bermane Stiverne. I was goody boxing, was goody IC, was goody brunch. And yeah, the subject of lineal ahead of this weekend's upcoming fight, Joshua versus Usyk, it's a topic of conversation because I saw a tweet that was trying to say that, oh, Joshua and Usyk can't be for lineal because of Deontay Wilder. And that shit made me laugh. I'm like, yo, y'all really just try mad hard to gaslight everybody about this dude. Wilder hasn't won a fight since 2019. By all rights, he shouldn't even be in the top five. Real rap. He shouldn't be in the top five. You haven't won a fight in 3 years, bro. You know what I mean? I saw this tweet, and if you go to my Twitter account, you'll see that I was talking about it, that I tweeted about it, and I was like, yo, Jamie, man, join the goddamn panel, man. Join the goddamn panel, Jamie. Nobody but Jamie clicked the link, assuming Jamie is free, because I'm not ready to open up to everybody yet. And yeah, it's a topic of conversation because there's actually a push in some circles, very small ones, that, oh, Deontay Wilder is somehow just still in that conversation. And I'm like, how? He hasn't won a fight since 2019. The last time he beat somebody was the Luis Ortiz fight, the second one. How are we even having this discussion? You know what I mean? And it's like Joshua versus Usyk, too, to me, is number one and number two at this time because Tyson Fury has announced his retirement 2 times. He has relinquished the Ring Magazine belt. Pretty much a slam dunk. It's an open and shut case. Now, if you want to say that you don't think he's going to stay away, that you don't think he will stay retired, well, that's another conversation. Whether or not he decides to stay retired doesn't change that he retired. Even if it was for 10 seconds, even if it was for 2 minutes, he announced that shit. He the one that told the world he retired, right? All right, if you retire, it's only 3 ways to lose lineal: in death, in defeat, or in retirement. And you just retired 2 times. Whether or not people want to take you seriously is not the world's problem because you did just announce your retirement 2 times. I was goody century. You know what I mean? So to me, yeah, Joshua versus Usyk is for lineal. I don't see how it isn't. I don't see how it's not. If you got a guy that announces his retirement 2 times, it's safe to say that, okay, he's retired. We're going to take it at face value. You know what I mean? Not complicated. Ain't nothing complicated about that shit. JBN was good, bro. JBN was good, bro.
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry, I was having a little problem with my mic.
I wanted,
Hey, man,
I wanted to talk shit about Wilder for like an hour. So this live, I don't want this live to be too long because I want to talk shit about Wilder.
I'm your guy, bro.
Let's talk shit, yo. Damn, Wilder ain't shit, bro.
Bro, Wilder ain't shit, bro. He hasn't not fought shit, bro. And the people that he fought, he either almost got his ass beat or he got his ass beat.
You know what kills me is that it's the American media that tries very hard to prop him up. What fans choose to do amongst themselves, there's no rules, you know? The fans are who the fans are, and they don't always make sense. But when you actually see media doing it, it's like, yo, why are y'all so desperate for this dude to be more than what he is? Like, I don't understand that shit. Like, why are y'all so desperate for that?
I don't understand that either, bro. Like, the guy isn't even a likable guy. Like, bro, he's such a fucking douchebag, bro. He lies about everything. He makes a lot of shit up. It's like everything he says is almost 80% of the time a lie.
Yeah, like Joshua versus Usyk is for lineal, bro. I don't give a fuck. I don't
So,
give two fucks, bro.
can I ask you a question? When was that Ring magazine available? Because it was available what is it, Fury and Wilder fought, right? But before then, nobody was the Ring magazine champion.
Yeah, the way that it was, what really happened was okay. So Anthony Joshua, he was the consensus number one ahead of the Andy Ruiz fight, right? Like everybody had him at number one. ESPN had him at number one. TBRB, Ring Magazine, yada yada. They all had him at number one. So he loses the Ruiz fight, right? And then fast forward, Wilder and Fury, they become the number one and number two guys because he lost. So because they were number one and number two, that did qualify for lineal status and the Ring Magazine title. So ahead of their second fight, they put the ring belt on the line because they were number one and number two at that time. So that's how the ring came into the shit.
But Wilder already lost too, right? Like
no, ahead of the second fight, bro. Not remember he lost in the second fight, but ahead of the second fight, they said, "Oh well, because Anthony Joshua lost, this is for number one and number two. You know, Wilder and Fury 2 is the number one and number two, so they put the Ring Magazine title on the line in that fight, and that's how the Ring Magazine title came into it."
Okay. I got a question.
Good.
What's up, everybody? By the way, Julius, if Usyk wins and becomes lineal, does that help secure? Like, what does that victory do for him on your pound for pound list? I wanted to, because he already has the win over him. You know, he's not going to gain anything. I mean, now he'll gain.
Well, I mean, he's already number one. What's it gonna do for him?
Oh yeah, you do have him number one. I forgot. I thought you had him number two for some reason.
Nah, right. I have him at number one, bro. Yeah. I have him at number one.
So all right. If Crawford beats Spence, does he get that number one spot for you?
Yes, 2-time undisputed.
Yeah.
One at a time, fellas. One at a time. Now, the reason Crawford would get the number one spot, but you got to remember, Canelo, it's complicated. But let's just stick to what we're talking about. All right, Crawford, Usyk. Why would Crawford advance ahead of Usyk? Because he would be a 2-time undisputed, 3-division, 2-time lineal, 2-time ring. It's like he got him beat by a little bit, not a lot. By a little bit.
It's literally the difference is literally that one belt Crawford got at 35.
Well, it's not just the one belt. Look. Let me say this. A lot of people, and I notice it, they pick and choose when they want these accolades to matter. They pick and choose, and we know the sport. You know the sport, Isan. I know the sport, and the argument is there. They're like, if he becomes a 2-time undisputed champion, Crawford's got a real good argument to be number one.
I agree with you. I think he get number one.
But now I will say that if on the off chance, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but if Alexander Usyk were to beat Tyson Fury, he would be number one. There's no argument, and I'm gonna tell you why there's no argument anymore. I gotta turn the camera on for this. All right, everybody, calm.
Get it. It's getting serious.
Let's get fucking serious.
Spit some facts, Guy Q.
Spit some fucking facts. Here's the facts. This is the facts, right? Most people don't understand the pound for pound list, and that's the truth. They don't know what it is. Usyk, and I've said this before, but I think people don't process it. The most literal incarnation of what a pound for pound fighter is supposed to be would be Usyk if he beats Fury, because what a pound for pound list essentially is a list of smaller fighters that you're figuratively matching against the best heavyweight. So if Fury is the best heavyweight and you match Usyk against him in real life and Usyk wins in real life, fuck a list. That is the most literal representation of what a pound for pound fighter is, because what is a pound for pound fighter? A naturally smaller fighter with size disadvantages that is skilled enough to beat a heavyweight. That is what a pound for pound fighter is.
Yes, literally. Exactly. He'd fulfill everything of what it originally meant. Literally, he'd fulfill everything.
Literally,
then,
if you know what like you know what the question is, Isan. If you had a heavyweight
Crawford, if you had heavyweight Crawford, how would he look versus a Fury? Or like let's say if Usyk was to beat Fury, he'd become the guy you measure everybody up to now.
Exactly.
And when people want to talk about like quality of wins, it's like, would there even be a win in boxing today better than like beating Fury?
No.
Exactly.
No.
He's no matter what, he's the guy to beat in the division still.
I mean, because he already beat Anthony Joshua, right? And it's like, because he's not treated fairly is why it's open for debate, because Joshua is not treated fairly, because it can become very contentious. But in a nutshell, if Usyk were to beat the only remaining champions, he already beat one. There's only one left. If he were to beat him, there is no argument as to who's number one. I don't give a shit who you like better. I don't give a shit about your eye test. A pound for pound list, like anything else in life, has distinct characteristics. And what are they? You are matching naturally smaller fighters against this era's premier heavyweight. That's essentially what you're doing. You're saying, if I had a heavyweight Crawford, if I had a heavyweight Inoue, if I had a heavyweight Chocolatito, how would their skills fare against this heavyweight? 9 times out of 10, what people say is that the smaller fighter would win because he is more skilled. Well, Usyk is that smaller fighter. He moved up from cruiserweight.
Bro, he's 2 wins away from becoming fighter of this.
There's no need to know they're still on your pound for pound list, Jules.
No, no, bro. You know the rules. If you lose, you're out.
But if he wins, he gets back in.
But who's he? I mean, look, when you say it that way, it sounds a certain way, right? But I'm gonna ask you a question: who's he gonna beat?
He'd
Who's
give
left
Ioka
to beat?
hell. He'd give Ioka hell.
If Ioka fights him, is Ioka gonna fight him? Because
No.
Nonito said it himself. Ioka is having conversations for Choco.
Hey, that's a better fight.
I love Donaire. I'm still confused why he didn't retire after the loss.
Me too.
Yeah.
He says he wants to go.
Isn't he like
He says he wants to
41?
go down to Superfly and fight Choco or fight Ioka, and I'm like, bro, I don't even want you to do that. Not even because you're old, but because it's enough shit going on down there without you.
I hate Estrada now.
Yeah,
bro.
like that
I hate
fight
Estrada now, bro.
isn't those fights aren't big enough for him to just have to like cut that weight or
Well,
have to
he
go
says
through more like
he says he can do it. So if he says he could do it, see, my issue is more like Superfly don't need you, bro. It's enough motherfuckers there. Joshua Franco just became WBA champion. Bam has the WBC. The winner of Martinez versus Edwards, they're likely gonna move up. Junto Nakatani is likely gonna move up. They don't need you as Superfly, bro.
what if Mattress
115 is tied up.
conquers up that fight for Bam? I mean, you think that'd be a nice little name on his resume?
I mean, not off a second round knockout to Inoue. Like,
Wait a minute. Did
Yeah,
Joshua
you're right,
Franco
you're
had a
right.
Reggie belt?
yeah, he had a Reggie.
Oh, so he got elevated.
Yeah, he was the
Do you think
mandatory.
Bam Rodriguez will fight Inoue one day?
Say it again.
Do you think Inoue and Bam Rodriguez is a fight that we could get one day? I think that's a pretty big fight. You don't think so?
No, hell no.
There's so
You
much
know
weight
why?
discrepancy.
Let me say this. You know why? Because Inoue, the last thing I heard, right, was that he want to fight Paul Butler in Japan, and Paul Butler got the last belt. The last belt is the WBO. After that, he going to 22. Whereas
He gonna
motherfucking
fight MJ.
yeah, exactly. Whereas motherfucking Bam is not even close to going to 118 right now. But Inui is on his way out of 118. He only got one more fight, and he can get the fuck out of that shit.
Is that fight made
He's
yet?
actually talking about going back.
The last I heard, and I don't know because that was weeks ago. It was a little over a month. Matter of fact, it might have been 2 months ago. The last I heard was they started the conversation, but we haven't heard anything since. So who fucking knows?
Who's he promoted by? Frank Warren?
Paul Butler's a pro bellum fighter,
Ah, okay.
prophylactic.
Oh,
Yeah.
but sorry for falling asleep on your stream yesterday. That's
No, I ain't mad at that shit. I know you don't want to see dumb shit like this.
He did it a few times before.
Goofy
Julius has done that a few
motherfucker.
times before.
Yo, dog, like his father.
I fell
his
asleep on my mic,
father-
not unmuted, bro.
His father's a dickhead, bro.
I mean, who does he think he is in this picture? Fucking
I
Shawn
don't know,
Michaels?
bro. I don't know, like,
Yo.
because you know what the shit is? He walked up. What you got to realize about this picture is he knew that the camera was pointed at Tio, and he literally jumped in front of the camera.
Imagine how insecure you are that you have to get in the way of your son's moment of victory.
I'm dead ass. It's literally a man the man who took this, because this is a still frame from the actual fight. In the actual fight, there is a man holding a big ass camera and aiming it at Tio because he just won a fight. And what his daddy do? He sees the man with the camera. He sees him, and he jump in front of Tio.
Bro, there
I
are
don't-
actually parents who try to live through their kids, and this is a prime example.
Bro, I don't like using the word toxic, but like, dude, this is fucked up.
Bro, they probably have a toxic ass relationship, bro, and
Dude, you know what happened?
that's fucked up.
He wants
Even
to get
Angel
up-
don't do shit like that. You know what I mean? Even Angel don't do, like Angel just talk too much, but he talk in favor of his son. Whereas when you hear Senior, he talking like he the fighter. You feel me? Like pay attention. He talk like he the fighter. Angel don't really do that. Like he just
Yeah.
talk too fucking much. But he
He-
don't even do that.
He talks of Danny
Yo.
Garcia like he's really great fighter, the best fighter, but he's not saying in there like, oh, like I'm the one that he's like the one going in fighting and shit. Like,
Yeah.
he
It's childish, man. It's childish.
Yo, Jules, you know what was getting me so tight yesterday, bro? They kept putting that camera on Barbosa. I'm like, all right, we get it. That fight is happening next. Like, can we just watch the fight, please? That shit was so annoying. Yo,
Oh, you know what? I wasn't too mad at that. Maybe it was because I was liking the fight, and I was just like, my focus was really on the fight to see how he was going to look. I really didn't notice that they kept panning over to him. But if they giving us the heads up that it's Barboza, I'm all right with that. Barboza's a good fight, and I feel like a lot of people is rushing Theo into. I don't want to say rushing. I'm just saying that I feel like they talking about shit that is not even going, like it's not like we not at Pedraza yet, feel me? We not at Prograis yet. So if they start saying, oh, I don't think he'll be Prograis, well, he ain't about to fight Prograis. So what the fuck
Yeah.
we talking
Hey,
about?
Jules, do you think we'd get the Barboza fight by the end of this year?
Yeah, December, because he
Yeah.
coming back in December.
Yeah, Heisman Trophy night.
Mm-hmm.
yo, Jules, you know what I realized? Why is everybody saying, oh, Tio should have knocked out Kampa, but Tank is a superstar because he knocked out Rolly? I hate when they do that favoritism shit, bro.
But see that I don't get it. Like, yeah, I might get on some real just new ass shit. Well, I don't even talk about, because I'm like, fam, I literally don't watch his career. If I'm not talking shit, I don't really watch Tank, bro. Like at all. Like I don't buy none of them garbage ass fights, bro. It don't make sense for me to talk about him
Yeah,
unless I'm
we-
talking shit.
we honestly don't have to.
What got me
I'm-
yesterday was I saw a lot of people keep like right as soon as this fight happened on social media and a couple of other sites I watch, everyone started bringing up fucking Haney, and then they just exactly started comparing Tio to Haney. I'm like, bro, leave Haney out of this. It's
Well,
Tio.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not mad if they bring up Haney, because that's a real fight that can really happen.
But here's what happened. They downplayed Haney to uplift fucking Tio.
Look, let's put it this way, bro. Fans is fans, right? So if we talking about a real fight, like let's just say, you know, Spence Crawford, and you tell me you got Spence, and I tell you I got Crawford. That's all regular. That's regular. You feel me? That's regular. Now, we're not talking about careers. We're not talking about accolades. We're not talking about pound for pound. We just talking about the fight, right? So if Haney got fans that fuck with him, that they feel he'll beat T.O., awesome, great, whatever, you know. And if T.O. has fans that say, awesome, great, because that's why we watch. I could live with that. What I don't like is when motherfuckers start bringing up Tank, because these will be the same motherfuckers that if you start saying, okay, when Tank gonna fight him, then they'll start giving you a million reasons why he shouldn't fight. I'm like, then why are you bringing him up?
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Because like at one point, bro, I was like, okay, I'm a hardcore fan. I want to see somebody get their head knocked off their shoulders. That's every diehard boxing fan. You want to see somebody get knocked out here and there.
Real
But
shit.
it gets to a point where you look through it where it's like, okay, why is he fighting Rolly?
That's what I mean. They're like, if
for what?
Why attach his name like to me? And I think Devin doing it to himself because he keep entertaining it. Whereas Shakur, he made a decision 2 weeks ago. Now I ain't entertaining none of these questions, fam. Y'all keep asking me about him, and y'all don't ask him about me. So fuck out of here. Like I ain't with that shit. Like get out of here. Devin doing the opposite. Like he just did an interview where they asked him about Tank, and I'm like, see, you making it worse because that dude is not trying to fight you, fam. So why are you encouraging this bullshit?
I don't see Tank fighting none of these guys, bro, because Floyd's gonna protect him, bro.
Bro, he just like we done had that. Like I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah, I feel
it's more the fans that I'm like, yo, they the ones that bring him up. And then when you be like, okay, well, yeah, that is a good fight. I would like to see that. When is Tank gonna fight him? Because Tank always saying that he the A side to everybody, so it's on you to make the fight. And then when you start asking the question, oh nah, well, I don't. Why the fuck you brought him up?
Then they,
Irrelevant.
then they don't want to see it after that. Once you say that, they don't want to see it no more.
Yeah, like he don't need T.O. Then why the fuck you brought him up if he don't need T.O.?
Yeah, because honestly, I don't think like if we're being real, bro, when we're talking about Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo, it's like you compare them to Tank. It's like, bro, it's not. He's not even in the conversation at all. It's like literally, I don't take his career seriously.
Him and Ryan, because Ryan is another one.
They're meant for each other, but they just can't even
Ryan
fight them. That's what's
gets
funny
away
about it. So
with
they're
it.
both gonna just be fighting bullshit the whole time, and they're not
Bro,
gonna
Ryan
fight.
gets away with it a little bit because at least he's younger. He's 23, but bro, you're what 28, and you still haven't done shit with your career. Like you're not gonna do shit with your career from this point on.
The problem is that Tank's won. You know, he has won 2 world titles. That's the real problem, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, they both have issues. They're both a major problem in boxing. But to me, it's worse that Tank has been a pro this long, and you've already been a champion, and you're still fighting guys.
Bro, that dude is coming up on 30, bro. Like they acting like he's 22, and that dude is 27, bro. Like that dude is coming up on 30.
They're acting like he's Bam Rodriguez, bro.
He's a senior prospect.
He's been a prospect for almost a decade.
That's how they match him. But just back to the T.O. shit, because I definitely ain't trying to waste no time on Tank.
Let's not
It's hard to know. It's hard to know that it's gonna be all right for T.O. with shit like this still going on. Because this shit worries me more than Campas. I'm more worried about this motherfucker right here, this glory hog motherfucker right here, than I was worried about Campas. Because I'm like, yo, you really did that. You have to understand, if you was ringside, for example, and you was looking in the ring, you know that this frame came from a cameraman who had the camera pointed at Teofimo, and his daddy literally jumped in front of him, cameraman there, and almost completely blocked him out of the shot. That's crazy, yo. That's your son, bro.
Yo, it's funny because after the fight, right, I saw him do his little backflip. I was like, all right, good performance. You know, I'm going to go make my post-react video. And coming to find out, I see this picture. I'm like, what the? I'm like, wait, hold up. He just did a backflip and he was celebrating at his pops. I'm like, ah, man.
Yo, B,
Hey,
I
I
don't know, bro.
I low-key feel bad for T.O., man.
This win isn't worth the backflip, man. This win isn't worth putting your fucking face.
Nah, it is. Like,
you know, I
T.O.
get the confidence booster, but it's like you got to understand, bro. 140 ain't no fucking cakewalk for you to be doing that and all that showboat and shit. Come on, man.
Bro, you gotta understand. Like, I was happy when I seen the showboating, because if I didn't see it, that would mean that he's still very apprehensive. You can't fight that way. You gotta be even if you gonna get your ass beat.
You can do that without being apprehensive. You know, there's a quiet confidence to it too. You know,
Look. Everybody ain't Jose Ramirez. If I personally felt good that this kid felt good enough to do his little Fortnite dances and he's smiling again, bro. The dude was about to cry going back to the corner when they wiped it off, and I'm like, see, he needed all that shit. Psychologically, he needed that shit, and I'm happy for him. So do your flip, bro. Do your dance, B. It's your moment. And here come your fucking father. Fucking dick eating father doing his bullshit. Like, fam, that's not right, bro. This is your son moment.
You know what's funny, Jules? Look at this picture, man. Look at Tio. He's fucking emotional as shit too. Look at his fucking eyes, man.
Because I'm 40. I wouldn't want to fucking go through a goddamn divorce, bro. He 24.
Exactly, man. That's what I'm saying. I feel bad for him. I really do feel bad for him. And his fucking dude, his dad. I can't stand his ass, man.
Well, I can't stand his dad, bro. He remind me of every old Puerto Rican I ever talked to in Fordham, between Fordham Road, Grand Concourse. He like every Puerto Rican I ever met rolled into a blunt.
Wait, Jules, what part of NY are you from? Harlem?
I'm from Harlem, but I used to live in the Bronx.
Oh, no, okay.
Little while though, I spent most of my life in Harlem, but I know Fordham Road, I know the Concourse, I know 161st Yankee Stadium, the bowling alley, the diner up there. I know all that shit.
Yeah, I'm from Uptown Bronx, but I originally just moved. So yeah.
Real shit, yo. And he's like if you took everybody in the Concourse and rolled them in a pita bread, that's his fault. I know he not Puerto Rican, feel me, but he sound like it. Like he sound like every dude on the Concourse that I ever met.
Bro, didn't the cameraman ask him to move the fuck out the way, or is this the only shot?
I wish he had.
Bro, that cameraman would have been goated right there and then. Like, yo, get the fuck out the way, bro. I'm here to see your son.
Hilarious and shit.
That would have been some legit shit. If you like, yo, fam, can you get the fuck out of the shot?
It probably wasn't a good idea for them getting a Bud Light fucking sponsor.
No, it's good. I mean, it's good for Tio because that's his sponsor. That means he getting money between fights. That's what that means.
But it's bad for the father because that dude's gonna be drunk 24/7. That's what I.
Oh, he's not drunk.
His dad is on something else, bro.
No,
his dad is on something else. It's not Budweiser.
Come on.
You saw Oscar was there, man. You know for a fact Tio Senior was dipping into some of Oscar's.
Oscar. He not making that Ryan fight happen. Oscar saw that fight. He was like, "Oh shit, Ryan can't beat him."
But it wasn't even before that. I felt like, look, man, Oscar not here for that. Oscar's here to promote Ryan, but whatever conversations they have, all fuckery and foolery aside, it's preliminary conversations. Like, all right, let's just talk about it and let's see where we at right now and when perhaps this fight will make sense. Because we know if we don't know nothing else, the fight don't make sense right now. Tio ain't got a belt right now. Ryan ain't shit right now. Fighting 35ers right now at 40 right now. And motherfuckers was hot off that like, how you hot that he knocked out Fortuna, bro? That dude, you know,
he came up from 135.
I'm out of here with that shit.
The first time he was supposed to fight Fortuna, bro, he had a fucking mental breakdown. So I mean, like, it probably is a big win in his eyes.
Motherfucking pussy hurt the first time he had to fight Fortuna, bro. His pussy was hurting. Like, get out of here with that shit, bro.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, Teal is probably the only New York nigga that I know that cries after he beat the shit out of somebody.
Nah, you ever fought a motherfucker that cry? You never fought a motherfucker that cry while he fight in school?
Nah, I'm talking about after you beat the shit out of somebody, you cry after that. Like, I never understood that, to be honest with you.
Because dude, every day he get up, he going through a lot, bro. Spider-Man.
Have you ever seen Oliver McCall?
Does whatever a spider can. Does he swing from
Jutsu Web. Sandy Size. This is my son shit.
You know,
right there.
Your son has good taste.
You know,
damn straight Spider-Man.
I just have to say this real quick. Like, Teal looked great and whatever, but could you imagine if it's Jose Ramirez letting him, like, pushing him towards the rope? So, you know what I mean?
Well, let's say this. Wait. Let's say this, bro. Remember, Jose Ramirez was struggling with Pedraza.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't forget that shit. He was struggling with Pedraza. And I thought I picked Jose to win the Pedraza fight, and he did, but not how I thought. Bro, Pedraza was shaking and baking him like it was an and-1 game. He was shaking and baking him.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Jose Pedraza, I always thought he was a good fighter, or you could say very good, but Jose Ramirez, he was supposed to, do his thing in that. But I want Tio to fight. I want him to fight Taylor, but it looks like that fight not happening next.
No, not that's. I mean that fight. Look, there were two belts. There were two secondary titles that he had after the fight, which shows me that okay, he is going in Taylor's direction because one of them was a WBO title. So all that shit about O'Hara Davies and the WBA, I ain't seen no WBA title in that ring. I seen a green belt and I seen a brown belt. So that tell me they moving him in the direction of either Prograis versus Zapata or Taylor versus Catterall. That's what that means because them belts ain't get there by accident. Those are the ranks that you climbing, the WBC and the WBO. I did not see the WBA, so I guess he ain't worried about that, I guess, until further notice, until we hear something. He ain't worried about that. And he'll get Taylor probably if Taylor beat Catterall, and I think he will. I think he's going to knock out Catterall. If they're going to do that, that's for next year. If they're going to do that, T.O. versus Taylor.
That's a pretty big fight.
Tio should be going for that WBA eliminator, in my opinion. That's the easiest.
Yeah, he'll knock the shit out of O'Hara Davies, bro. That dude sucks.
And then he'll be. I mean, if Puello wins, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the shit with Puello and them is that's a PBC affair. So you already know what time it is. Like, bro, like that belt is as good as gone, bro. We ain't gonna see that motherfucker for a long time. It's a wrap. Like, in other words, it's a wrap for Undisputed for a few years. That's what that means because they will not part with that belt now that it's over there. They have Gary Antoine Russell to accommodate. They have, I believe, Frank Martin. Isn't he at 40? Frank Martin?
No, he's at
135.
35.
It's 135, yeah.
Maybe he goes up to 40, and they have Subriel Matias. They did the okie doke with the IBF. The IBF a couple of weeks ago ordered Jeremiah Ponce versus Subriel Matias so that the IBF could turn around and order Ponce versus Taylor. Like, bro, y'all already did an order already. How you ordering him to fight me when you just ordered them to fight? They trying to get all of that. Yeah.
I tweeted that the other day. I was like, what the hell happened to that order? Because I remember that months, like a good while ago.
I ain't hear shit about it now. I ain't hear shit about it.
That belt is gone.
It's a wrap, bro. Because they have fighters that are moving into 140 pounds that they need to accommodate. Like, I don't know where Rolly's retarded ass is gonna go, but he probably ain't gonna go back to 35. You gonna go back there for what? To fight who?
Tank Davis.
Yeah, Rolly's on crack. This guy called out Errol Spence, Adrian Broner. I'm like, bro, why are you calling out Adrian Broner, bro? This man is like 45.
Bro,
he's actually relatively young, man.
Who, Broner?
What
No,
I mean?
Broner 33. No, Broner 33, but it's more like Rolly is that kid that he just say dumb shit to be saying dumb shit. Like,
he's the kid you medicate for ADHD.
Bro, like, he really is that dude that he just says a lot of shit that you be like, yo, you just be talking to be talking. Like, you got like a baby brain. Like, your brain is underdeveloped.
Yeah.
He gonna be that way for a while too. He gonna be 30 acting like that, bro.
Heaven forbid.
He gonna be 30 acting like that, bro.
We gonna call it. If I'm Floyd, I'm crossing the street and I'm doing Rolly versus Blair Cobbs ASAP. Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god. I'm doing ASAP.
That.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Jules. I just want to take it a little bit different because it's still in my mind and I need to get an answer for my morality. So, you know the Joshua and Usyk fight, or Usyk-Joshua fight that's happening this Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
So, I got a VPN and I got the Zone Boxing. So, I can change my location to America, Canada, or wherever the Zone has it. And I think I would be able to watch it on the Zone for free.
Mm-hmm.
But in the UK, it's on Sky Sports that I have to pay pay-per-view for. So what should I do? Should I use the VPN that I pay for?
I can only tell you what I would do. Right? So when it comes to fights that I genuinely want to see, I pay. Simple. I pay.
Hard too.
No. I'm paying for the Zone. I'm paying for a VPN.
Hold on. I'm saying, if you told me, okay, they got Crawford and Spence on crack streams or whatever, or that link, whatever that I'll be using whenever a fight doesn't have a USA broadcaster. I'll use the link, right? But if you told me, yo, the fight is on, no, I'm paying, bro. I'm paying. Don't bother me. Yeah, I'm $80. Don't bother me. But if it's bullshit, I'm not paying. It's bullshit. I'm not paying. Simple.
No, but it's gonna be a good stream, so it's not even like I'm hacking this thing. I'm watching the dodgy.
Bro, it sounds like you made up your mind already.
I'm just asking. It's on the zone.
You have
confirmation.
Don't feel bad.
Listen, let me just say.
Pay. If it's
let me clarify.
Pay.
I pay for the Zone Boxing monthly, and I pay for my VPN monthly. So I'm paying for two services, which I can use. If I'm using it on Netflix, that I can't see any shows in the UK that's in America, or when I change my location, I can watch those shows on Netflix. So is that stealing?
Yeah, it is, because I mean, if I'm gonna just be on my shit, yeah. But look, you got the option. It's on you. I'm just telling you what I would do. If it's me, yeah, I'll pay. I will pay.
If it's worth it, I pay for it.
So it's gonna be on Sky in the UK,
just to support the boxers, yeah.
So you're asking
Support the fight, support the boxers, man. If they're
I would pay. Like, look, remember, I bought Crawford versus Porter. You know, I bought Porter versus Spence. You know,
I bought Spencer Nugas, bro. I paid.
Yeah, exactly. I bought Spencer Nugas. I'll pay. You know, if it's just regular whatever, my main thing is it has to be worth what I'm paying for. So I'm gonna look at
$20 at 5 a.m.
I'm sorry.
On Fight TV.
Okay.
Spencer Nugas.
So
I don't understand why
you're asking for piracy advice from a valued
no,
customer?
it's not piracy. No, it's not piracy. I'm paying services for the Zone. And I'm paying for a VPN. So if I can do it on Netflix and Amazon Prime.
I see what he's saying, that basically because he's already paying for these services, technically it's part of his
using the service.
Because he is paying. So I understand it. I'm just saying that if it's me, I don't know, maybe, because if the quality of the stream ain't laggy and it's actually good.
No. It's gonna be just on the way it's on the Zone. Boston, I think. Same way as in America.
You know, remember, bro, I'm the dude that actually bought a Clarissa Shields fight. So I'm just letting you know, yeah, okay. You know,
speaking of that, yo, Jules, a lot of people got Savannah knocking out Clarissa. What's your thoughts on that?
It's possible. I see how it. I definitely see how it can happen. I see how. I seen her working with They showed the shit she working on, and I noticed she was like this, and she was coming forward, right? She's going like that. And if that's what she gonna do, yeah, she could knock out Clarissa. Because the thing with Clarissa, don't give her room to extend her arm. Don't worry about the counters. Don't worry about the jab. Get in her shit and get her to trade with you. When she's trading, that's where you can knock her out. Because that's where she got knocked down with the Costa Rican chick.
Clarissa's lack of power is gonna hurt her here.
Yeah. Like, if you look, like, a lot of people don't like to bring that up because they kind of they try to act like that was just some freak shit that happened. No, it ain't some freak shit that happened. You got dropped. The same way I would bring it up for anybody else. You got dropped. So that shows that, yeah, you can be caught. And you're strong. Clarissa's at her best when she can extend that arm and keep the person there, keep them there with the jab. But if you get inside of that, if Savannah catch and shoot, catch, pop, or she just catch it all, and then get in, yeah, she can knock out. I can see that happening. That's not saying, okay, that's the pick. But I'm saying, if the question is, do I think Savannah can knock out? Most definitely. Nobody hit like Savannah at those weights. Nobody. So it can happen.
She definitely hits harder than the Puerto Rican chick.
Yeah, I think we're in for another bunch of people crying on the media, like with Wilder and Fury. After Wilder got his ass kicked, a lot of hearts was broken, but it is what it is.
Oh damn, we got a retard.
Who?
Melvin.
Let me see Melvin. He don't like race. Oh, that's what I don't even got. He think so. So if I don't pick who you want me to pick, man.
Es uno de esos
You know what? Let's not acknowledge it.
mamones.
If you don't acknowledge them, they die off slowly. It's like
I
parasites.
Bro,
guess, like,
Jules
like
is picking.
for saying that Savannah stands a chance. If that ain't some
Julius,
bitch ass
Julius,
shit, bro.
you're picking Joshua over Usyk, or I think isn't he black? Isn't Joshua black?
I mean, I'm a Joshua fan. I'm a Crawford fan. I'm a Shakur Stevenson fan. I'm a Devin
Aren't they
Haney
black?
fan.
Aren't they black? Are you
Yeah, I
supporting
mean,
them?
Fights.
At the end of the day, boxing.
Well, see, you know what? Do you know why I don't like having to say that, Sawab? Because then I'm coddling this cocksucker that he need to hear me say that so he could feel validated. Like, I don't need to coddle you, bro. Whatever you heard about me, just assume it's true. Kick a rock, move on. Because I don't want to explain myself to no piece of shit. Like, Fear, you a piece of shit. I don't need to explain myself to you.
Julius, you need to show the speed, the power,
the
ring
footwork,
the foot movement.
God damn it.
Yeah,
the
that made me
footwork.
laugh.
Yeah, I mean, because that's what
Speed.
that's what the fuck motherfuckers be wanting. They want to hear, no, that's not true. I like so. Yo, man, assume whatever the fuck you want, bro.
Hey, Jules, I still got that in my mind. The way you just said to him when you kicked him off, I don't give a fuck about your opinion. And you kicked him off.
Remember that he was held. Are you talking about the guy who's talking about Duran?
Oh yeah. That guy.
Bro, I ain't never seen Jules that pissed off, bro.
I wasn't mad though. I was annoyed. There's a difference between being annoyed and being mad. Being mad stays with you.
I've never seen Julius so close to having an aneurysm.
Animated.
There you go.
But yeah, like shit like that. I don't like shit like that because then with the response that he is attempting to elicit is a response where I have to start explaining. Oh no, I like no man. Just assume I don't like shit and get the fuck on. All right, just assume. I don't give a shit.
I feel like a lot of people in this modern era in boxing, when it's their favorite fighter not getting the recognition, they get pissed. And it's like, if they don't get the recognition, they don't get the recognition. What the hell do you care?
But I didn't even say nothing bad. You know what this shit is? He asked me, you asked me, right? Do I think it's possible? All I said was, yeah, it's possible. I could see how that could happen. And he turned that into doodle and caca, and I'm like, oh my God, bro.
Like,
Yeah,
black people.
It's obvious that if Clarissa can't get on the inside of Savannah Marshall, she's in trouble. That's just obvious. It's not a fact. I mean, it's not an opinion. It's just that's the truth.
If he would have kept it like on some boxing shit, feel me, to where he says, well, I don't agree because Clarissa blah blah blah, and we have a boxing conversation. That's cool because we can have differences of opinion. But when you go way to the left, we don't like. All right, bro. All right. Oh, okay, bro. Okay. I don't like nothing. All right, just assume that shit. Whatever you heard about me is true. Now kick a rock and keep it pushing. Pick that rock.
Like for example, Julius
your shoe off when you kick the rock.
Julius believes that Douglas Duran was just a puncher, you know.
Puncher, bro. Just a puncher.
Just a puncher. He doesn't have the footwork.
The speed. The ring IQ. The power.
Childish ass shit, bro.
Wait, what he said? He don't like black boxer or blacks. What?
That's what he said. That because I said, remember, you asked me, do I think it could happen? I'm like, yeah, I could see a way that it could happen. And because I'm saying that, he turned that into. I'm like, see that's ridiculous, bro. That's insane. So what? I'm supposed to just agree with everything you fucking think, bro? I mean, it's that's why I said it's childish, bro. But like, the easiest thing to do is look. I'm not trying to sit here and explain shit to you. So if that's what you think, just think that shit and go play in traffic. Just do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
Yo, Jules, can you explain the IBO belt? I don't understand what that is.
The IBO belt is basically a belt whose rank standings are, my understanding is that the rank standings are shuffled based on an algorithm. And for what it's worth, you know all about the WBC and you know all about the WBA and you see what the IBF is turning into. Well, the IBO is a sanctioning body that, while it's not recognized by the other major four sanctioning bodies, they are a respectable little outfit, and they have been around for some time. You know, a lot of fighters have had the IBO title. It's not recognized as a major title, but they have had it. I don't think,
Wait. So what the? You make a fair point. What the fuck is going on with the IBF now that you brought it up?
I told you, bro, a couple of months ago, last year, when the WBA got in hot water, right? They got in hot water with the Alphabet Commission, right? A couple of days after that, I was told, the WBA's officials, some of them, have migrated over to the IBF. Fast forward, you see how the IBF is moving now. They're like, yo, fam, how y'all on Josh as the satisfied mandatory, but Murtaza have been mandatory at 54 since 2019. And y'all ain't pressing nobody about that. But you gonna press Josh? He actually satisfied a mandatory in the last 3 years. Apinun Konsong. When the last time an IBF mandatory got satisfied at 47? When the last time an IBF mandatory got satisfied at 54? I already know what the common denominator is. I see what it is. Everybody does. It's not a coincidence.
Julius, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You know when Spence won the IBF, has he been fighting unification fights all this time?
No, because the Peterson fight wasn't a unification. The Garcia fight wasn't a unification.
That's
the
2.
other Garcia fight wasn't a unification.
That's 3.
And that's it. He hasn't been very active in the last 4
So
years.
he had 3 voluntary fights already, and he didn't have any for the 4 years. He didn't have a mandatory between all those 3 fights.
Well,
exactly.
Unless you're unifying,
there was also a hiatus because of his eye.
Unless you're unifying, in that 1 year you can fight whoever. But after that year, you need to fight a mandatory according to the IBF. No.
Technically,
So
Danny Garcia was called a WBC mandatory.
No, I'm talking about the IBF.
That's what I'm saying.
For the IBF.
And remember, I wanted to time. Remember, the IBF is the first belt that he won. He won the IBF in 2017. From 2017 till 2022, he has satisfied 1 mandatory. 1.
5 years.
Now, I'm going to show you something. Anthony Joshua, it's not like he satisfied 4, but he did satisfy 2. The first was Carlos Takam. More recently, it was Kubrat Pulev. And you see how the IBF is always riding his ass. They always bothering him. But they don't bother nobody else. They ain't bothering Spence. They ain't bothering Jim Alchala. They bothering him.
Look how quickly the Alphabet Boys stripped Josh Taylor.
Povetkin, no, Julius. Povetkin was mandatory. The WBA mandatory.
WBA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how many mandatories did Joshua fight since he became
I was
champion?
just talking about how many mandatories he already satisfied for the WBA. I mean, for the IBF. He already satisfied 2 for them. And he won his belt the same year that Spence won his belt. Won it the same year, 2017.
A year after. 16, I think, no?
Spence.
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, you're right. Shit is bullshit, bro.
And they say there's no favoritism.
See what I mean?
That fight is mandatory with that Ferrari fight.
And then the other thing you have to look at is, okay, let's say there were extenuating circumstances that kept Errol out of the ring, and we have to acknowledge that, okay, let's acknowledge it. You should have labeled him a champion in recess or something, bro. He sat out for a year. The people that's paying you a sanctioning fee, right, in order to climb them ranks, they ain't doing that for no reason. They doing it so they get to fight for a title, and you not letting them because you letting this dude that can't fight hang on to it. So it's a lot of unethical things that have been going on the last 2 years with the IBF. They're like, fam, you knew he wasn't going to fight the whole year. Why you ain't do to him what you used to do to guys? Strip him. The fuck are you waiting for?
Bro, the IBF is starting to sound a lot like the fucking WBC, man.
I told you, they starting to sound like the WBA is what they starting to sound like.
There's only the WBO left. The only good sanctioning body left.
And that's crazy because they used to be. I mean, all of them got their crooked shit. They period when they was on some crooked shit. But here today, the WBO moves more reputable than any other sanctioning body. It used to be the IBF, but that changed in the last 2 years.
I'm just not a fan of elevating fighters to champion status. I hate that shit. Now it's kind of normal, but I still hate it. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, I'm okay with it if you holding it, depending on the circumstances. It's always a case by case basis. Like, I get it. Estrada vacated, it is what it is. And Franco was waiting for his shot for a long time. So I'm not mad at that because it's like, well, Estrada don't want to fight him. The only thing you could do is elevate him because Estrada don't want to fight him. You could have fought him in the summer and then take care of Chocolatito, but it looked like you worried that you won't win that fight because why would you vacate when all you had to do was fight him?
No,
That's what you had to do.
They still have to have a fight for it. Yeah, they should be the number one to have a fight and fight a number two or number three or number wherever. But as long as they still have to fight, they can't be just called champion until you don't win it in the ring.
Estrada is kind of the reason that shit is a little bit fucked up because it's like, fam, like they should have been labeled you a champion in recess. Why didn't they do that? You see what I mean? That when it was Manny, they was quicker to do it than when it's Estrada.
Bro, Leo Santa Cruz, 3 fucking years he hasn't fought at that division.
Exactly.
3 years he didn't defend that belt.
Exactly.
So why the fuck
Jules,
is he still a champion?
Can I ask you a question, Jules?
Go ahead.
This like from my common basic economy from high school, this shit doesn't sound very self-sustainable, bro. A lot of people, like, if you're gonna fight these bullshit, like if you're not gonna fight mandatories and you're gonna go years without fucking doing anything, like this doesn't sound very self-sustainable in the long run.
Not if you're getting paid to not if you're being given, not if for the sanctioning body, not if you're being given cash incentives to not order fights. Thanks for speaking on this sanctioning body, BS Julius. I'm having a hard time seeing how boxing survives like this. Brown paper bag money, bro. That's how it survives. If the WBA or the IBF are not ordering fights, what you have to assume is they have some kind of a deal with that promoter. They must. And they're being paid like, yo, don't order that shit. Don't order that shit. Here's 100,000 or whatever. Don't order that shit. Because it got to be a reason. It's not sustainable for a sanctioning body to freeze their ranks unless they're being paid to freeze their ranks. And then,
Julius,
all right, we get that.
aren't they a non-profit? All these government or whatever, these boxing, aren't they meant to be a non-profit?
Bullshit.
It wasn't BLM meant to be non-profit organization as well? What happened?
Listen, man, any coalition, any of that shit, all that shit is bullshit, bro. Trust no one.
All these cancer, I think fucking cancer this, cancer that, flipping. All these people are meant to be non-profit.
Because it's easy to
charities.
It's easy to scam people. If I like, I could make a Twitter right now, use a picture of a pretty girl, start a GoFundMe, and get money. The reason I don't is because I have integrity. But anybody can do that. Like, yeah, just make up something. Make up something.
That's just an issue with anything organized.
Yeah,
it's just the fact of the matter. If it becomes organized, it eventually becomes politicized. If it becomes politicized, it eventually becomes based around monetary income.
Like, look, it's scams on YouTube, for example. Guys will put a video with a crazy headline, and because people don't know any better in the moment, they want to find out. They will click the video, not realizing, yo, it's all bullshit. It's lots of scam artists out there, and they gonna get. What motherfuckers don't understand, whatever bullshit you put out there, believe you me, it's gonna come back. It is what it is.
It's true.
It's gonna come back. Like, motherfuckers never know it. It comes back. The reason, like motherfuckers think because it take long sometimes. It don't know you doing some sucker bullshit ass shit. Like, you lying on people, you misappropriating issues and misappropriating real shit that's going on so you could get some beer money. It's gonna come back. Trust. All these scams we see with GoFundMe, all that shit comes back, bro. Like, it's not worth telling a lie, because if one thing is true, it's not worth telling lies. The truth always comes out. So if you got the lie to get at something, you won't borrow time, because the truth always comes out. It always comes out, bro.
That's an issue. That's a dangerous issue with trends in general, Jules.
Yeah. Real shit though.
And Drew's looking for a link, by the way.
I just want to say it's so fucking ridiculous. How can and I'm not just, I don't know, because it's probably just the latest one that has I've been watching a couple of videos on it on YouTube. that's been coming to my recommendations. Not like I'm searching for it, bro. The BLM, that woman bought her family a $6 million house. Or even she's paying her brothers millions of just for being an advisor. She's paying herself millions of fucking pounds. So apparently that house is meant to be a HQ worth $6 million, I think, whatever dollars.
Listen, bro, I've been seeing people do that. I've been seeing people do that with Christianity for years. Nothing surprises me anymore. There's a church a couple of counties over from here, right? When my wife and I first moved down here, she takes me to this church. Immediately, I don't like it. Why? About 30 minutes before the sermon, you're hawking merchandise. You're selling books. You have to pay. Like, everything they was talking about was things you have to pay for. The cookies you got to pay for. The function you got to pay for. The books you got to pay for. The seminar you got to pay. And I'm like, yo, this ain't no church.
Hey, Jules, you should see how bad it is in fucking Ukraine and Europe.
Oh, Jules, boy. Have you seen that?
Oh, it's, bro, it's 5 times worse for one reason. If you look at the demographic, more people believe in, like, religion in Eastern Europe than here in America. Bro,
but are they scam artists though, bro? Are they scamming people?
Look, in my opinion, some of them are decent. Like, some of them actually like take the money for like improvements, renovations, but a lot of what I see is just scam.
Like so she takes me to this place and I'm like, fam, like you can see what's going on. Like you can, like you know, and it's kind of obvious, you know. So when I see that people
it's not obvious for the people that actually believe in religion, because
some people want to be lied to. That's
well, not even that. Some people don't even read their books because what they're doing. If you believe in Christianity, Jesus threw over the tables in the temple for doing that stuff, selling stuff in the church, doing exactly what they're doing. Like that's like goes against. But that's how you no Jews. They don't even read their Bible. But I like that super chat though too. Alexis did beat Shawab.
Y'all chill out. Anyway, to stick to the subject, right? There are churches like that all throughout America where it's obvious that they're misappropriating the church's funds and it's going straight in the pastor and his wife's pocket. And it's so obvious.
A pastor in America has a private jet. A pastor in America has a private jet. Do you know that? Who's that clown who's on? Bro, he has a private jet worth almost flipping hundreds of millions.
That's Creflo
Dollar. That's Creflo Dollar. And old ladies fall for it, bro. And so when I see that, right, in a nutshell, the point that I'm trying to get across is if you can misappropriate the religion of a lot of people who actually believe, like, you know, when they come into this church, they here for the word. And you gonna misappropriate the word? Oh, it's open season on everything. Then nothing surprises me anymore.
And that's why, to tell you the truth, in America, that's why the sermons have changed. That's why they don't have shame about like single mothers and all that. Because real men don't go to church in America because they see through that bullshit. It's the single mothers and the mothers that are funding this shit. And the cuck dude, like, just look at it real quick.
The old ladies in their SSI checks funding that shit. It's the old ladies in their SSI checks because they know hard working. One at a time. Ain't no hard working man gonna go in that building and let this snake oil salesman take, like, no, you wildin'. Like, I know what the fuck you doing, bro. I seen what you drove into the church with. Come on, who dumb out here?
We got a saying back in my country about my granddad. He used to say this all the time. It says, by the time you go up to heaven, the religious people here will eat you alive.
Yeah.
Could you say that one more?
See, they got him
one more time.
They got him
a little slow.
Talking too much shit.
Yeah, that was Russians. The Russians got him.
They fucking got him, bro.
You kind of cut out. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said though.
I told you they got them. They hitting them with Bibles right now. They got a whole pillowcase full of Bibles that they
Hey, back in my day, dude, I was still in Ukraine, dude. They still have the ruler on your fingers, man.
Yo, it's real out here, bro. But in a nutshell,
once again, they're charging Drew for getting hit with the Bible as well. One hit, all right, £2.
That counts as a baptism. Real shit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to start charging people money for baptisms, bro. Water ain't cheap in Sacramento.
Oh man, did you remember that? I don't know if y'all remember that episode of Sopranos where they're doing the Catholic ceremony feast in the community, and they try to charge him $50,000 just to use the little saint.
Bro,
sounds about right.
And the shit is, it's not that, and it's not the opportunism that surprised me in the past. It's not the opportunism, because thieves are gonna thieve, opportunists are gonna opportunist. It's that people, they go for it, they fall for. That's what surprised me. Like, you can't see what's going on here. You can't see what's going on here. That they taking your bread and they buying Gucci belts and shit with it. You can't see that. I think you deserve to get your bread took.
You know why Jules? You know why they deserve? There's a famous poker player, Doyle Brunson, said, "It's a shame to let a sucker keep his money."
And you see, this is why I love jumping into voice chat with y'all. Yeah, we have like arguably the most interesting conversations in the fucking boxing community over here.
No,
like, Jules,
really
are you gonna let a sucker keep his money? Or are you gonna let him
No,
pay?
of course not. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna tell you the truth. No, I'm not a thief. I won't steal. I won't lie. I won't. Now, somebody else, yeah, go ahead. I won't. I don't have to. There's honest ways to get $1. I won't.
Yeah, Mr. PBC works hard for his money. Remember?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Now, Jules ain't gonna say no to Mr. PBC because he's not taking it.
Nah, I'm just more along the lines of, I didn't have to scam him to get his bread. He gave it to me. I ain't had to scam him. He gave it to me.
Julius, what are your thoughts of these stupid people that get mugged off by the Indian telephone scammers? Like haven't you been watching the videos on YouTube?
Look,
the way
man.
stupidly they get tricked into. Even bro, there's normal 40-year-olds people. They get scammed just sending them cash, 100K, I think 10,000, 20,000, 30,000.
Yo, look,
I answer the phone and finesse them.
So let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you who fell for it in my neck of the woods. It's the people who come from Ukraine, these backwater places, who actually don't know much about these telephone scams, and they barely speak English. So when they get a phone call from someone saying we're from the IRS, they are genuinely fucking terrified.
Yeah, like in other words, like, yo, look, man, your own intelligence quotient is your own responsibility. So if you going through this life and you stupid, that's your fault, bro. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. Drew, did you do it? I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I mean, like the Zelle scam going on right now. People are requesting money and then they're calling like the bank. Like, if someone tried to Zelle you this, I need your account information to reset everything. And people willing, like, dog, the banks never call people like that. Like, it doesn't take.
Bro, you know how many Lithuanian princes I'm related to?
Yeah, I mean, shit. That's why I'm like, yo, if you
Lithuania, I thought we were still dealing with Nigerian princes.
Yeah, well, you know, I there's a side hustle going on from the Lithuanians.
There's
they share a bloodline.
The failure falls on the parents, but they were probably stupid too, and their parents were stupid, and their parents were stupid, and their parents were stupid.
The whole bloodline.
No, because look, hold on, one at a time. All the shit that I know about money and just anything, right? Just the values that I have as an adult, I got them at home. I got them at home. My grandmother was one like, yo, you better not, you gotta hustle. That's what basically in a nutshell. To that effect. That's what I was taught. That ain't nobody gonna give you shit. Right? Period. Right? The values that are instilled in the children who go out into the world, and whether they're intelligent or they're morons, it all starts in the home. So if you got people stupid enough to walk into a building on Sunday and just throw their money, like, you don't realize what's going on here?
Not to sound racist, but I have this kind of like a rule of thumb. If you call me and you sound like you're from India, I'm sorry. I'm not racist, I promise. But if you call me and you sound like you're from India, I'm hanging up the phone.
Bro, no, especially if you're calling from India. One second. If you're calling from India and we clearly know you're Indian and you say you're John Smith, bro, no Indian is called John Smith.
Yeah, this is the IRS office in New Delhi.
And since when does the IRS is actually like they don't move like that. Let's put it that way. They don't move like that. Let alone out from India. Feel me? It's like, come on, man. Like,
IRS, all they do is send you a bunch of letters and out of nowhere just take your shit from your account. That's it.
Yeah, like they ain't gotta call you in the middle of the afternoon.
Ask to send cash.
Yo, that's a
Yeah,
thing.
they don't
Like,
ask for anything. They
Was
just
they
take it.
Jules? You grew up in that neighborhood. Was they scamming 3-card money in your neighborhood?
Yeah, they did that and the bottle caps. You know the bottle cap game?
Yeah.
They used to do that shit.
Julius, the thing is, I'm even scared for my own morality. I'm so scared even to use the services that I paid for like the zone that I pay for monthly and a VPN. I can use that services and watch the fight on the zone with good American, commentary. But no, because it's not available here in the UK. It's with Sky Sports, so I have to watch it on Sky Sports.
So, Wob,
I
did
have
you
to
just
pay
say
for it.
good American commentary and the zone in the same sentence?
I mean, if you
Or
like
whatever.
Chris
You know what I
Mannix,
mean? A good stream in it, just like obviously it's not a dodgy stream.
I mean,
It's on the zone. It's on the app, the zone that I pay for monthly.
I use a virtual machine, so I don't got to worry about much of any of this.
I mean, now let's talk about this Wilder media love that I find nauseating. If you go to my Twitter, right, I posted about it, that there's an account that goes by the name Lineal Champions. And what Lineal Champions was trying to say is that this upcoming weekend's fight is not for the lineal because it's not across the board. And guess who they're trying to talk up? The guy who hasn't won a fight since 2019. Like, fam, like, I can't begin with how fucking that's just, and I don't want to, I don't want to be rude, but that's really fucking stupid. The guy you're saying that stands in the way of lineal has literally not won a fight since before the pandemic started. 2019, the Luis Ortiz fight. That is the last time Wilder won a fight. And you telling me that Joshua and Usyk can't be for lineal because of him?
Yo, real talk. I thought Wilder retired.
He should.
But Julius, it's not happening in America. It's not happening at all.
Basically, because that's what their community. You know that they're the ones that never wanted to give Katie Taylor any credit. That same account, because what they like to do is it's an account that is dedicated to the lineal champions of both men's boxing and women's boxing, and they would always talk up Amanda Serrano. Oh, Amanda's the greatest. They'll come up with all sorts of bullshit stats like, oh, well, she has the most knockouts over fucking soccer moms, bro. What are you talking about? That's what she got. Soccer moms, all right? What are you talking about? All right.
Julius, Wilder's last 4 fights. One was a draw against, I think, Tyson Fury. Second one was a win against Ortiz. And then 2 back-to-back losses against Tyson Fury.
But bro, that's if we said, right, if I say, yo, what was Wilder doing the last 3 years of his career? Losing to Tyson Fury.
Exactly.
And this guy is why next Saturday's fight is not for lineal. Because of the dude that spent 3 years losing to one man. Do you see how that sounds when I say it? The man spent 3 years losing to Tyson Fury.
And he's still number 1 in the WBC. How?
You know,
how?
May I interject with something?
Go ahead.
You know, there's actually a great parallel between what we were just talking about, you know, that binds stupidity and greed and connects us to this, because a lot of this boxing media realizes that Wilder talk, positive or negative, is clickbait. It makes them money. And a lot of these scams run in the same way. You know, we are going to send you millions of dollars if you give us your information. Or you guys know prosperity gospel, right? You know, so
yeah, of course.
I'm your pastor. I'm just a reflection of you. The more I get richer, you will get richer too. So it's all
God wants me to have this car. He wants me to have these riches.
And 3 private jets too. And these fashion sneakers. And
sorry. 3 private jets? Not even 1. 3 separate ones?
Like it's a whole fleet, I think. It's more than one.
You make a very good point. Like, I remember back when Deontay first lost to Fury, bro, Glovegate was such a huge fucking thing for almost a year, man, in his community, bro.
Listen, bro, those were great days. But look, the average video that I uploaded brought in well over $100. Just during that period, that time frame, YouTube was paying buku dollars. And remember, also, everybody was at home, so there were more people on YouTube watching YouTube videos.
Of course. I mean, look, anyone who actually believes in the Glovegate is a moron. But hey, like someone, I forget who said it, if you're gonna be an ignorant moron, you might as well at least not have any money.
Yeah, why not? Shit, be broke too.
Dude, I still have a problem.
You can't be ignorant and broke, man. That's a bad combo.
I still have a problem. Yeah, I still have a problem with the Ring magazine even being on the line for the Tyson Fury and Wilder fight. Because let me get to this.
Look, honestly, let me say this. It made sense. Joshua was the consensus number one at the time before he lost to Ruiz. He was the consensus number one. He was TBRB, ESPN, Ring Magazine, and BoxRec number one. So when he lost, I understood that because he lost, that makes Wilder and Fury number 1 and 2, which qualifies them for the ring. So I was cool with that. Like, no, it makes sense. What doesn't make sense is, okay, now Joshua rebounded. He's a 2-time heavyweight champion. In the last 3 years, he's won 1 fight and lost 1 fight. In the last 3 years... I got a quick
question. Am I confused, or was the Ring magazine on in the first fight or the second fight?
No, it was only the second fight. It was only the second fight.
Not the third fight.
Fury had it in the... Fury had it in the third fight. Now, the point I'm making is in the last 3 years, Joshua at least won 1 fight. 1. Wilder has won no fights in the last 3 years. How is he even top 10? How? The man hasn't won a fight since 2019.
Dude, my point was the champion should be number 1 and 2, isn't it? So at that time, Wilder was not the champion.
But Fury had already won it. Fury won it in the second fight.
Yeah, so it should be Tyson Fury and Joshua, not Wilder 1 and 2.
It's not
so
like it just no, because what you're saying is like what you're saying is as if it goes vacant after every fight. No, Fury, it was on the line for the winner of the second Wilder versus Fury fight. It was on the line. Fury won the fight. Fury became Ring Magazine. I'm like, all right, cool. I understand that. That makes sense. I'm not against it. And you know I don't like Fury, but no, that makes sense. It makes sense.
One thing I'm getting confused by, you know, when Anthony Joshua beat Ruiz again, was Tyson Fury the champion? And did he beat Wilder in the second? Or who came the champion again? Was it Joshua first and then Fury? Or was it Fury first and then Joshua?
I'm trying to remember which fight happened first.
Joshua became first.
December, and then Fury, the second fight with Fury was in February that year.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. So Anthony Joshua should have still either been, obviously, okay, he was beaten, so that's why Tyson Fury is unbeaten. So he should be number 1 and number 2.
Look, let's put it this way. Because he had lost and they had not lost, I'm still like, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I've seen worse. And that the Ring Magazine was on the line in that second fight, I'm like, okay.
You know what kind of makes other those sense? I don't see how Fury was number 2 at that time, coming off a layoff, and then
it beat Andy at that time.
No. You talking about the first fight, bro?
Second fight.
We're talking about after the first fight, leading into the second fight. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's what I'm saying. In the second fight, Wilder was still the champion. I don't get how Fury was number 2 in the world, coming off that draw. I think Ruiz should have been number 2 at that time, shouldn't he? Because he became
agree with that.
The unified heavyweight champion. Ruiz was number 2 at that time.
Exactly. And then Joshua beat Ruiz, so he should have been number 2 with Wilder.
No, I agree with that.
You agree with that, right? Like
I agree with that.
Fury shouldn't have been number 2 during that second fight. It should have been Ruiz.
For whatever reason, there's certain people that they just want Fury to assume that position without having to be consistent. If he's consistent, then I would have no problem with him. But my problem with Fury has always been he is inconsistent. All right? How many times do you need to retire, bro? How many? What is the point?
He's retired more times than he's defended the belt.
The shit the reason I look at it as some...
There's parallel between Fury's fan base.
Let me say it chronologically.
Fury's already the greatest, and he don't gotta fucking defend the belt against Usyk. None of that shit. Just the way they treat Tank. Like he's already won all the mythical battles.
let me just say this chronologically, yeah? And listen, before I think Tyson Fury won the fight after he won the fight against Wilder, he became a champion. He went and talks to fight Anthony Joshua. That fight was meant to happen. He announced it August 14th. Fight didn't happen. The next day, he said he backtracked. He's fighting Wilder because of whatever reason. Then when he wins, and Anthony Joshua lost to Usyk, and then he was talking, okay, it's my last fight against White, and then he retires after that. And then he comes back saying, I'm not going to retire. I want 500 this. And then he just, after saying he wants to fight for free. First, he asked for 500 million to fight Joshua. And then he said, I'm going to do the fight for free. So which one is it? And then he said, you retire. But then you want to fight Thor. But then you want to fight Derek. But then now you retired and you relinquished your Ring magazine.
Nah,
So
I take
in
the
this
approach
past
of
2
like
years, how the fuck has he changed so much?
Salab, I take the approach like Jules said. Anytime Fury talks out, we don't listen. We don't take nothing he says serious. It's just a waste of energy to, well, what does he mean? Try to decipher what Fury means. He's just running his mouth.
Don't forget, at one point, Fury tried to call out fucking Francis Ngannou.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he's meant to be retired.
Can I say something about Wilder? I read a post about. Do you guys know Hancho editing?
No.
I can't say I'm familiar about.
No, I know Office Hancho. I know Office Hancho.
Yeah. Sancho. Okay. He made a post I think it was some months ago about at the time Wilder was in conversations for the Elenius fight.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I don't like this fight for Wilder because it's a dangerous fight for Wilder. And I was like, dude, the amount of cuddling these guys have for his whole career. Elenius is a decent fighter. Elenius is not. Dude, we are not talking about Usyk. We are not talking about Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury. No, we are talking about Elenius, who has been stopped several times. And
by Dillian White. Been knocked out by Dillian White before all of his losses.
No, he was no. He was knocked out by Duhaupas. He was knocked out by Duhaupas. And he was decisioned. This is the thing. He was decisioned by Dillian White, right? But how is a guy that got knocked out by Duhaupas too dangerous for the Bronze Bomber?
Hey, Jules.
He used to get beat up by Wilder in sparring.
There's one thing that people really forget. Fucking what's his name? Wilder is not a contemporary of Joshua. He is a contemporary of fucking Klitschko.
Yeah, I said that. Both him and Fury are contemporary. They confuse Wilder for being of this era, and he's not. But he fought so many nobodies that they think he's from this era when the man's been around since 2009.
And the disrespect AJ gets. The disrespect AJ gets. Could you imagine, Jules, the fucking hype if you swap resumes and accomplishments with AJ and Wilder?
Well, the whole thing, look, it's all American. It's all American nationalism. I've been saying that. They're like, Wilder's career, like, and I don't like being the only one that says it or being the one that constantly has to beat that drum, but it's the truth. He's a fucking hype job. What the fuck are we talking about? How do you need 7 years and 32 fights for Bermane Stiverne? Fuck out of here.
Him and Tank are the same.
Real shit.
For real. That's like
real
the same
shit. Like the way like Wilder basically never got developed. Like if you look at his entire career up until Ortiz or actually yes, they literally, it was just soft touch. It was like fucking 30 soft touches in a row. And he never had a reason to develop anything.
I'll push back on that. Mark Breland was there. Wilder never wanted to develop himself. He said it on camera numerous times where I don't want to work out. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. So he never wanted to develop himself.
One of my favorite things that Jules always says about when it comes to Tank's career, he's going to eventually pull a Wilder. He's going to fucking pick that one guy who he should have beat, but because of his career.
Listen, right? Look at Jeff Lacey, because Jeff Lacey is the parallel for a lot of things. They just assumed that because he's American, he's going to win. And he goes over there and he gets the holy fucking shit beat out of him. Same with Wilder. They just assumed that, Fury. And I can't blame them with Fury because, well, he was on the rebound. And what happens? You got beat by a dude that was on the rebound. You got the shit beat out of you. You actually laughed, which is what makes it so perfect. You actually laughed at the idea that he could knock you out so that he could end up knocking you out 2 times.
Twice.
It's fucking beautiful, bro. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Julius, history is repeating itself. History is repeating itself. Look, one second. Look, Deontay Wilder's manager, who's that flipping alien?
Shelly Finkel.
Shelly Finkel. He said he's a baby champion. He shouldn't fight Klitschko. What's Mayweather saying about Tank?
Yeah.
You two fight. Don't worry about him.
Don't worry about Tank.
I told you.
Right.
Haven't I been saying that?
Millions.
In-house
Haven't I been saying that for 4 years? That I'm like, dog, like what they do over there is not what Top Rank does. It's not even what Golden Boy. Yeah, they do that same dumb shit to a degree. They do, and it's just you're not developing a fighter by matching him that way. Why you think Duke Reagan had to go through that tough Fuentes kid last night? That would, PBC would not do that with one of their unbeaten guys. They'll put him in there with a fucking Mourinho's. You know what I mean? They put Duke Reagan in there with somebody that wanted to win. That's what they did. Even
I gotta say this.
Hold on.
quick.
Even Campas for Teofimo Lopez. That wasn't no dude that was there to lay down. That dude was there to fight. Like, no, if you gonna win, you gonna have to fight.
Hey, Jules, there's one thing I gotta say to you, man. The power, the footwork of a Deontay Wilder.
The ring IQ.
Wait a minute. Wait, don't go that far. Don't go that far.
My fault.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of silliness. And when it's not that Wilder's a protected fighter, because there have always been. Yo, y'all gotta shut up.
Oh shit.
You. Shut up.
You listen to the wife,
Jules.
Hey, bro, she'll beat your ass, Jules.
Beat your ass, bro. Don't play.
Yeah. Point is, it's not that they're protected fighters that bothers me. It's that the media is actually propping them up. Like, bro, like, why are you trying to beat everybody on the head over this trilogy or over this guy's career? That was literally the most one-sided trilogy I've ever seen. Literally, in all of boxing. I've never seen a trilogy. The dude got the holy shit beat out of him 2 times.
He got outboxed in the first.
My favorite is the boxing is better with Wilder in it.
How?
I don't know how.
And what you guys are describing to me, like, you ever seen that movie Groundhog Day?
Oh, it's a good
movie. With Bill Murray, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen to the titles. I heard something about I don't know, somewhere on YouTube, like someone wrote that, well, this fight between Usyk and Joshua, the rematch, is gonna be for free. So that should tell you that, AJ's gonna win, right? He's gonna win by knockout. And I'm thinking to myself,
Who the
hold
fuck
on.
said that?
I don't even know, but like when I read that, I was like, it threw me off, because what if Fury does actually retire and then WBC does fuck around and give the belt back to Deontay Wilder? That means we're back in 2018.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, that if he gets the belt back, Undisputed won't happen for years, bro. Years.
It won't happen at all.
Like it
It'll
won't
be
happen.
the worst mistake that Maurice Sisson would ever make.
And that will be. Everybody acts like Fury's resume is gonna age like a fine wine, and no, it's not. Because if you retire and Undisputed doesn't happen, you know who's gonna get the blame? You, because you could have fought for it. If the belt goes back to if the belt goes back to Wilder, Undisputed doesn't happen indefinitely. But at least if Fury has the belt, well, yeah, maybe we can get it. But if
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I want to ask. Say Tyson Fury, I think, relinquished the belt. He vacates the belt. Can the WBC put that belt on the line for the undisputed fight against Usyk and Joshua next week?
No.
It's already on the line for the comeback fight for Deontay Wilder and Helena.
Yes, until the
Well, it's
26th.
more along the lines of infrastructure, right? Because let's just say let's just pretend that the WBC were a legitimate organization. Let's just take away all the crooked shit, right? And here's the problem with that legally. You have people that pay you when they fight for a chance to move up those ranks. and fight for that belt. So you can't just put it over there for them. And it's like, well, what the fuck happened? I've been paid, like Dillian White's situation, if they were a legitimate organization. Now, because they're an illegitimate organization, that opens the door to all kinds of shit, bro. Don't you see they want to put that shit in Wilder's hands? How could he be number one after all these months, having not fought? The last time you want to fight was in 29, and he's number one? It's kind of obvious what you're doing.
Jules, can I say one thing, though? It is obvious. It is obvious. 100% on which no disagreement. However, there is one caveat to this situation that, in my opinion, I'm happy about. We know Wilder's biggest fucking weakness. You just got to put pressure on him. He has no back feet.
Just take away
any decent fighter.
Nothing.
Listen. Helenius is not the dude that's going to do that. No. I mean, he's not the dude that's going to do that. He's not. He's going to stay. This is what will get Helenius knocked out. Helenius' best punches are straight punches. So when he's jabbing, he may have success early, right? This always happens in Wilder fights. The guy has success, and he gets a little carried away. It's over.
Well,
that's what's going to happen.
Okay, fine. Okay, theoretically, I'm not saying Helenius is going to win. I'm just saying, but at least it's like what happened with Triple G. When he got exposed, you know how to approach it. So eventually, maybe someone.
Who?
Yo, I don't fucking know. I just
in other words, I can tell you who, right? I could tell you off the top of my head who I think has the right guard and applies the right kind of pressure, throws the right kind of punches. Hrgovic is one.
That's not going to happen, though.
That's not going to happen. He's only going to fight PBC fighters. We know that. If he gets the belt back, he's only going to fight PBC fighters. He's not going to fight. He's not going to fight Aslanbek Makhmudov. He's not going to fight Jalilov. He's not going to fight none of these amateur standouts that just went from the Amis to the pros. He's not going to fight none of them.
You think AJ has a chance?
The AJ shit or the Usyk shit. If Usyk beats AJ next Saturday, you think Wilder going to fight him?
Hell no. I'm just saying, though, do you think maybe possible chance that Ruiz could? I mean, Ruiz is a weird one for me, man, because I've seen him go the distance.
No.
Fucking...
It won't be Ruiz. Ruiz will get knocked out. That's literally what I think. If they fight, I have Wilder knocking out Ruiz. Why? He has fast hands. He doesn't have fast feet.
Yeah, fair point.
I'm just
trying to be optimistic.
The reason that AJ, and it's weird, but the reason that AJ got knocked out, you were too gung-ho. You were too cavalier with this fat little man. You closed the gap on him. You came to him, turned over the hook. You was the one that was doing all of that. All you had to do was keep him out. Now, one thing Wilder does, to his credit, he does this bullshit to set up the right. So as soon as Andy makes a move.
Okay, well, Jules, then I have another question for you. There's not that many PBC fighters at heavyweight for him to really fight. Is he going to fight Ortiz again?
Ali Demirezen.
Oh my fucking god!
You think they won't? Manuel Chaw. You think they won't? I mean,
Frankie Sanchez.
They have no shit. Listen,
fair point.
Frankie Sanchez.
They will not put him in there. I'm telling you right now, they will not put him in there with Frankie Sanchez. They won't.
Frankie Sanchez will get a decision and stink out the joint.
What's that guy that Frankie beat last year? I forget.
F.A. Jagba.
Yeah, they'll put him in there.
They know because he's a top. Well, at least he was. I don't even know if he is anymore because they might have cut him.
Oh,
I haven't seen him since.
I forgot about that.
They might have the more I talk to you, the more depressed I'm getting, Jules.
Is there any universe where Fury does fight Usyk if the Daniel and the Saudis come to an agreement?
They might. They might. It's hard. This is why it's hard. This is supposed to be Usyk's last fight under Eddie. Eddie has that relationship with the Saudis. He has that. Bob don't have access to Saudi money. He tried to get it for Crawford versus Pacquiao, and he couldn't get it. So I'm not saying that Usyk is the kind of guy that's going to let the money fuck up the fight. But if we just talking this Saudi shit, no, they don't have the relationship with the Saudis. Egas don't have it. Now, I don't know. Maybe Daniel could give him some cocaine money.
I think Daniel and Egas, to a degree, they don't have the relationship Len and Eddie do, but they're invited over there for all the meetings, so they're familiar. I wouldn't say it's a relationship.
I mean, what is Top Rank doing in Saudi, bro? What?
No, nothing. It would be more Daniel and Aegis, but nobody's. The thing is, like you said, Jules, Fury can't fight in America. So what's Top Rank gonna do with that shit? Nothing. It's all gonna be
Nothing.
Frank and
Frank
can't afford it.
Top Rank will subsidize it.
Yeah,
They will help because remember they just subsidized the white fight.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you're
they
not gonna
promoted
get.
that fight
You're
in
not
Vegas.
gonna. Let's just be real. You're not gonna get Fury and Usyk in the ring for under 20 million each. That's just not gonna happen.
Bro, I don't even at this point. I'm still left wondering if Usyk wins this Saturday, will Fury fight? I have not said that Fury won't fight him. I'm just asking because you know how people love to misconstrue shit. All I'm doing is asking if Usyk wins, does Fury quote unquote come out of retirement?
I have some
I don't
doubts.
know. It's
I
not
think
the same
Bob.
money. It's not the same money.
It's not at all. It's.
I think Bob wants it. I think Bob has said he wants it, but whether Fury
Bob
now
did
wants
say
it is the question.
Bob did say that he wants it, but does Fury?
Bob wants it, but where's Bob? Got to understand where's it? It's not going to happen in America, Bob.
It's not because he can't fucking come into the country.
Well, Jules, hypothetically, if Usyk does win, you think that fight wouldn't make some decent money? The Fury versus Usyk fight?
I think the hope for that fight, being honest, because it always pops up when I think about it, the hope for that fight is that the Saudis want it and they pay for it. That's the hope. But once again, Bob does not have the relationship to pursue that. Instead, they will have to be pursued. That we want it, we'll pay for it, bring it here, and we'll pay for it. Because we know Fury can't come to America, right? He can't come here. So you can't hope to get the bread for it in Vegas. He can't come here. So what, you're going to do it in the UK? It ain't worth the same money in the UK. Maybe the Saudis will be like, you know what? We just did Usyk versus AJ. Now, let's bring Fury to Saudi. We'll do Fury versus Usyk. That's the out that I see.
And like you said, Jules, the Saudis could be like, okay, we'll do it, but we want these guys involved.
Who
they have relationships with.
No, they're not going to involve Eddie and nah.
Well, and what do you think of the odds of this happening?
The most that the zone, because the zone does get the rights to PB. They like a lot of people didn't know that Wilder versus Fury in certain territories was shown on the zone. You know, just not the major, not the ones you would think, but the outliers. They did get the rights for that fight. So maybe the zone could get the rights for it in fucking, I don't know, Lithuania or some shit. You know, like Estonia or some shit. Maybe they'll get the rights for it over there. But as far as America, come on, ESPN. As far as the UK, come on, BT Sport, bro. Come on. Let's be real. Let's be reasonable.
You're making me very depressed, Jules.
I told you that the future is grim, bro. The future is great. Like Fury plays too many games, and the reason that I lose patience with him is because he doesn't have to. He yo, dog, like you got the last puzzle piece. It's the rest of the work. All you got to do is chill. That's it. That's all you have to do. Chill. Let them fight and wait it out. No, you got to do all this bullshit, and it always got to be a question, and you always it's like, yo, dog, like I can't stomach no dumb shit like that. Nobody else does all this
which
dumb
is why,
shit.
Jules, this is why I feel like the WBC should strip him short of the fight, days away.
Yeah.
Because bro, it feels like they're giving him they're giving him a week after the fight, after this week's fight, to make a decision when this guy. It feels like 1 minute with this guy feels like a year.
Jules,
he can't sit still.
Virtuoso, can I ask you a question?
Good.
Yeah.
Who would you rather have though? Fury or fucking Wilder, because that's pretty much your only options right now.
Fury.
Exactly. So say what you will. Fury's a fucking moron. But at least with him, I have a better chance of maybe.
Well, I literally just said that in the last video I uploaded, that it's even worse if Wilder gets the green belt. Because then I know for sure we ain't getting undisputed for a couple of years, bro. We won't. But with Fury, we have a chance. It's just that he's such a fucking bozo. He always make everything harder than it need to be. But at least we have a chance with him. So like I said, I don't know if he'll fight Usyk, bro. He never keeps the same energy for Usyk that he keeps for other people. He doesn't. Oh, he doesn't speak English. Motherfucker.
Hey, get yourself a translator for $20 and listen to his funny ass.
That's what Fury said on camera. Oh, he doesn't speak any English. Nobody knows him. Nobody wants to see that. Like, bro, you sound like a jackass. What the fuck?
Bro, I'm starting to hear some fucking Jermall Charlo excuses over there, man. Oh, he doesn't speak English. He doesn't have the vaccine. He's too young.
And it's like, yo, and that's the shit that make me not like. He's a good boxer, right? No doubt about it. Semi-decent resume, right? Semi-decent. 2 Chisora victories over a young Chisora. Klitschko win, Wilder wins, yada, yada, yada. But it's all the bullshit all this shit that we've been seeing the last 3 weeks. It's unnecessary, bro. 2 retirement announcements, a Chisora announcement, a Bjornsson. What's wrong with you, bro? The fuck is wrong with you? Like, you got what's that shit? Like that hyperactive kid shit? What's that disorder?
ADHD.
Was he got like ADHD or some shit?
No, he's got mental retardation.
What is it with these fighters and saying like, oh, I don't know who this guy. I don't know who this guy is. I might have to use Google. Let me say this, man. I typed in the word pussy, right? And you know what results came up? Tyson Fury, Keith Thurman, Jermall Charlo. That's what I'm getting.
And Tank.
This is
Davis.
just terrible. Yeah, Tank. What? It's unbelievable, man. The great lengths that they do at trying to avoid fights, man.
Was not, I could understand that they avoiding shit. It's people supporting them that I don't understand.
I don't know how Tank has a following. I don't get it.
That's the worst part of it all, bro. And that's how they keep doing it and doing it and doing it.
That's how they get away.
Because that's what enables it. That they still have people that support. I'm like, what are you supporting? You don't want to see them fight good fighters? You don't want to see that.
Like, you really love this fighter so much that you have such a mental attachment to him that you don't want to see a fight in a sport that's about fighting. The fuck?
Hey, you know what's funny? You say this as a joke, but I honestly think they don't. I think they would rather have this mental perception of them being something that they're not.
Yeah. It's a sickness.
But Julius, it's like what you say about Chocolatito. You say before, what about someone asked you, what about Chocolatito versus Bam? And you say, nah, I don't like that fight for Chocolatito. Because you like Chocolatito and you understand that Chocolatito's at the end of his career, but the Gervonta Davis has done anything for the sport, and you are cuddling him like he's about to retire, like he did already did. Gervonta Davis already did everything.
I understand.
All the titles. Do you get me?
No, I do. Because it is true that I don't want to see, like, being honest, right? Yeah, I don't want to see my man get the holy shit beat out of him. But if you but I'm not gonna advocate against it either. You feel me? I'm not gonna be like, he don't need that. I mean? Like it's like, yo, dog, like the way they act, I swear it's like they want to suck their dick. Like, what's wrong with you?
Hey, you know what, Jules? You know, I can say one example that I'm guilty of, and I think you are too. Fucking Kell Brook, man. When bro, Kell Brook, remember? That was anger. That was anger. That's what you talking about. You been calling him out. Yeah. That wasn't. Look, it wasn't even like. Yeah, I'm not trying to see Brook give this guy the satisfaction. It's not even. It's not a feeling that Brook needs to be protected more than you don't deserve the satisfaction. Like, you don't deserve a Brook fight, bro. You don't deserve a Brook fight. No. Like, you on some real weird ass shit. You a middleweight, bro. You have even fought at super middleweight. Why you keep calling out welterweights? That shit. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little protective of Brook personally because, in my opinion, bro, I'm like, bro, you just got your bet. Like, arguably your best fight was against Amir Khan. Just retire on a high note. Be happy. Live your life. I felt that. I did feel that. They're like, yo, Brook done been through enough, bro. He fought the Golovkin fight.
that you was supposed to fight, and he wasn't no bitch. He fought
Damn.
Spence right after that. He wasn't no bitch, and he coming off a career high, a career best win over a longtime rival. That you don't see Cinderella stories in boxing a lot of times.
Bro,
so for me, it's like, yo, let him go, bro. He did his thing. Let him go. Leave him alone.
Bro,
I
he
ain't
fought
going
Crawford,
for it. Yeah,
bro.
you right.
Brooks'
I think
problem
the
is,
through
bro,
line-
he's too fucking brave for his own good.
Real
Yeah.
shit, yo. I was like, I'm like, yo, you really gonna call Brooke out retirement? You have no shame, bro. Because he retired already when he was calling him out.
Exactly.
You know these fighters, man, that you guys were talking about, man. These guys are like, in a way, they're like they can't crack the game, so it's like they couldn't crack it, so they got to find a way to nerf it. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to get shortcuts.
Yeah, that's Chris Eubank, and that's why I'm gonna do a naked rain dance and shit, so that Conor Bank can fucking knock his ass out, bro. Because I'm so
man.
sick of that dude and his fucking leather jackets, bro. Tired of that dude, B.
To say Eubank has the career is a very bold assessment.
It really is. Let me read the super chat. Wilder's trash, but not everybody beats him. I do agree with that. I agree with that. Charles says, Wilder's back. Hope he left the toxicity behind. I really don't think so, bro. I think it's going to be more of the same, especially if he get a belt. Mr. Raider Nation says, Raiders. I dig it, bro. I dig it. You know he was at the fight, too. What's the guy? Mark Davis? He's at the fight.
Yeah, bowl cut guys.
Bro, I don't understand how you can have that much money and you don't just get hair plugs. I don't understand that shit.
All natural.
I guess, but real shit. Like,
get the gel blasters.
I said it for a long time, and if you go to old videos, you're gonna hear me say it. I don't think we're gonna see an undisputed champion in this era, bro. And at minimum, I said I don't think AJ and Wilder gonna ever fight. I've been saying that since I'll say late 2018. That's when I really felt like, yo, dog, there's just too much bullshit attached to this, bro. Wilder didn't really want that fight, and the PBC didn't want that fight. They were just trying to ride the wave of the fight to sell his fights. They wasn't trying to do the fight. They just want to keep talking about it and acting so they could sell you bullshit Wilder fights.
Okay, Julius, I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Let's take, for example, Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. Do you think if that fight would have happened 4 years before, it would have made the same kind of money or more?
No.
Yeah, entonces, there is an argument to delay the fight from a financial perspective. I don't know if this fight, let's say 4 years ago, AJ versus Wilder, and you make the fight now, 4 years after, maybe it's more money now for the fight.
Let me say this, Leo. I don't disagree that time can make a fight bigger. We all have to agree on that because that is a fact. But when it gets to the point that you're offered $100 million, okay, bro, it's time. Like, what the fuck? It's time. Right now, the problem now, all these years later, is that the same issues that were there before, they're still there now. What, AJ's going to go over to Showtime? No. What, Wilder's going to go over to DAZN? No. You're going to do a joint pay-per-view? There's the only possibility. A joint pay-per-view. Why? If you can get a pot big enough that Showtime makes money and DAZN makes money, the way Maypac was, because that's why the fight got made. The pot was huge, and they knew that it's big enough that we can all make money, so let's do it. You know, that's basically how that happened. But it has to be a huge pot. And I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Wilder's a jackass, bro. There's no other way to put it. Like,
but he's a dumb jackass because he turned down a fucking career high day of like, what was it, 100 million?
100 million, bro. So you could get the shit beat out of you 2 times.
And don't you think the PBC would have made more money with that one fight than all the bullshit fights they put him in?
Possibly. That's why I be saying that, like, people don't really process that his team are a bunch of bumbling idiots. The only reason he got his ass kicked is because y'all put him in a situation that got his ass kicked.
Well, funny enough, Jules, he didn't really get his ass kicked as much as he was fucking embarrassed 3 times.
Yeah, bro. So I'm like, when I think about this AJ shit, I'm like, look, maybe you would have went in there. Maybe you would have knocked out AJ. I don't know. It's boxing, bro. It's heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen. Maybe you would have got knocked out. But one thing I do know is regardless of what would have happened, you would have made more money regardless of the outcome than you got getting the shit beat out of you by Fury.
And it goes back to the point we've always circled around, Jules. They don't want none of their fighters seeing what it's like to get all their money up front. That's why Fury.
I believe that. I believe
that's
that.
why Fury, when it was Wilder Fury 2 and 3, Top Rank and BT took care, and Frank Warren took care of Fury's end of the purse.
Yep.
PBC took care of Wilder's. They don't want their guys to know what it feels like. Damn, I'm getting all this money up front minus the taxes and the fees.
Yep.
Al Heyman don't have to have a carte blanche over my money to reinvest it and pay me and allocate me fucking stipends.
I do agree with. I do believe that they don't want guys to get a taste of what the money is like if you deal with somebody else. I don't think they want that. I know something. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I know something. I have never said it on. I probably will never say it. But it's a lot of unhappy fighters over there. It's a lot of it's and y'all know them, and y'all know them because they know that, like, yo, you fucking up my paper, bro.
I'm sorry.
Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing, Leo. You're not far off. That's all I'm gonna say. You're not far off. I'm not gonna say because it's privileged.
Okay, but look, I have said this before. I understand the need from a promotional company to protect their investment and their fighters to go to other promotional companies because they made at the end of the day they make money of those fighters. But in the case of Wilder, dude, you lost so much money on this guy. You didn't get the money back. So you're investing so much on Wilder, and I don't think I know that much about boxing, but I could have told you 3-4 years ago, if Wilder gets beat bad, it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah,
I could have said that. So you're protecting a guy that is not that good. For what? For the time he gets beat, you cannot trust him anymore.
Leo, they thought they had the situation under control with Fury, and they didn't realize that Fury fooled them. Fury fooled them.
He fooled them. And you know what's funny, Jules? The whole start of when Showtime's budget really started going down and all this shit happened was when Eddie and DAZN came up with real money, and Wilder saw it, and they put that Brazil on and fucked off the budget. It's been downhill since.
Yep, ever since.
And that's why you got all these dudes from Ellerby to this other clown on fucking Twitter that said we don't like Eddie. Da 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 da. Like, bro, you just mad that he.
I'm glad you said because that's where the resentment comes from. That's literally where it comes from.
It all started there, Jules. That meeting.
Yep. All of that. That's why Stephan had to go over budget and compensate Wilder for rejecting the $20 million for the Brazil fight. That's why Stephan don't like Ed, because of that shit. And what did Wilder end up doing the very next fight? He leaves Showtime. He goes over to Fox. Hasn't come back yet. And look, his next fight isn't on Showtime either. The report says it's on Fox.
Because remember, Jules, they all said, like, well, where's the money? Put it in escrow. Eddie called their bluff. Wilder saw the money with fucking Lou DiBella. Lou DiBella got kicked out the limo, and they had to fucking make night. Al and that Shelly Fink, that whole fucking limo ride. He saw like, fuck, that shit's real.
Bro, they're a bunch of nickel and dime ass dudes over there, bro. And it's not that they're nickel and dimers, because there are nickel and dimers in every society. You know what I mean? There's always guys that's scratching and sniffing. What irritates me is how people try to talk them up like these guys are really killing it. You fucking idiot. They tried to charge you for Ruiz versus Areola. They tried to charge you for Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin. Even more bizarre is that you don't even buy these fights, but you talk them up, and you don't even buy them.
And there's only one man killing it over there, and that's Albert Heyman. That's like you said, Jules. He's the smartest man. A bunch of idiots.
Yeah, he's used to being the smartest guy in the room, full of idiots.
So he's the only one winning because he has all the money. Even fucking Espinosa's at the whim of fucking what Heyman wants.
Bro, I wonder how this shit ends. I wonder how it ends. Because I wouldn't be surprised if it ends with Heyman disappearing to the Caymans.
Well, they go bankrupt.
Al Heyman is the fucking ghost of Christmas past, bro. I love Al Heyman.
Bro, Al is legit dark energy.
What is he?
I posted on Twitter. The last fight you see Al Heyman actually engaged and watching the fight, smiling into it, was the Kelly Pavlik Jermaine Taylor fight.
Bro,
what does he look like?
He watches fights through a cauldron.
Al Heyman looks like a
that.
sugar daddy that you left in the sun.
He looked like. Have y'all seen Revenge of the Nerds? He looked like just the Black Poindexter.
He looked like a skinny booger. You remember Booger? Y'all don't remember Booger? He looked like a skinny booger. Wait, he looked like a skinny booger with less hair. Y'all remember Booger from Revenge of the Nerds, right?
That's
what he looked like.
The guy
he looked like Booger.
The guy that said when they asked Booger, "Are you get a date for the dance?" He's like, "Man, I've been combing the high schools all day." And he's in college. Hey, that's Booger though.
That's Booger. Like Al Heyman really looked like a skinny booger with a thinner neck and less hair. That's who he looked like. He looked like Booger.
Yo, you know who he reminds me of, low-key? Bro, tell me he doesn't look like a pimp named Slickback.
Oh, facts. I just googled his pictures.
He looked like Booger, right?
No, a pick named Slickback. I don't know if you guys ever watched Boondocks.
Oh, bro, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty much got that power, bro. He's got the fucking puppet strings on everyone, bro.
Yeah, he walked into an animal shelter and all the dogs stopped barking.
It's their fault for being so stupid. Like Jamel can leave PBC, can't he, or buy out his contract?
I honestly don't think he can, because I feel like if it were that easy to get away from them, then David would have got away 3.5 years ago when he tried, but he couldn't. So I don't actually know that they have the autonomy. It's me and Drew talked about this a million times.
They don't have the deals. They don't have the deals that Danny Jacobs,
it depends.
Chavez Jr.
Hold on. It depends on which PBC fighter we're talking about, because Danny did get away. Artur Better Beef did get away. You see what I mean? Some guys got away. Mikey got away. It wasn't even a situation where you control Mikey. But some of these guys' deals is different than some of these other guys' deals, because Danny got the fuck out of there, bro. He got out of there and he went to Matchroom and he was there ever since. But Jermell and Jamal, nah, they look like they lifers over there, bro. When the ship go down, they going down with it.
Hey, best thing that ever happened to Canelo was leaving his promotion and going independent.
Well, like what you said, Drew, the guys at PBC that can't leave are the ones that don't have separate management from Heyman and PBC.
Yeah, because I've maintained that what makes PBC unethical, I believe that most people don't realize is the manager is supposed to act as a buffer between the fighter and the promoter. The manager is supposed to act on the fighter's behalf to try and get him the best deal. But what I believe is happening at the PBC is that the managers are in cahoots with the promoter. So they keep the fighter there, even if it's not in the fighter's best interests, which is why Adam Kovnowski turned down the AJ fight, which is why Luis Ortiz turned down the AJ fight, which is why Jermall Charlo, at least a part of it, he didn't get that $7 million. Gervonta Davis didn't get that $7 million. That was the best deal on the table at the time, and they didn't let those fighters take it. They wanted to keep them where they were, and that is where it becomes unethical, because the manager's supposed to get you the best deal that's out there for you. Well, if the best deal ain't at the PBC, why are we still over here then?
Can I ask you a question, Jules?
Go ahead.
Yeah, he egregiously violates the Ali.
So for some people, here's kind of like my thought process to an extent, though. For some people, like in particular, like a Jermall Charlo, like even an Andre, I don't think it's necessarily beneficial for them to go independent. Look at what happened to Terrence Crawford when he went independent, bro. He's pretty much blacklisted.
Yeah, I mean, look, one, going independent is like anything else. It's not all it's made out to be. If you don't have a fan base like Canelo and you go independent, you're fucked. You're Andre.
Exactly.
You're Andre. You have to have the fans. And this is why, at least on this channel, I don't know about anybody else, but I can't stress this enough. You have to have that rapport with the fans and give them what they want. Because believe it or not, even if you lose, they'll still be behind you. They'll look at Derek. Look at Canelo. He got 2 losses. He got 2 losses.
It's a combination.
You think people not going to buy his fight? They going to buy it, regardless of the 2 losses.
Like I tell Jules all the time, your promoter's job is to promote your fights. Your manager, your publicist, their job is to promote you outside the fucking ring.
Yeah.
And none of these boxers, with the exception of AJ and Canelo, and to a lesser degree Triple G, had the team in place to get them endorsements, to get them to other events outside of fucking boxing. Tom Loeffler has done the best job of promoting a legitimate B-side in Triple G in the last 15 years out of all the promoters.
Let me say this to Baltimore James. Everybody says that about every era, bro. Everybody says that about every era. I remember people used to say that about the Mike Tyson era. I just kind of view that as a lazy argument. Just focus on the subject at hand, you know, because, I mean, we're not comparing these guys to Tyson. Like, I don't do that. Drew already said that himself. Don't compare 12-round fighters to 15-round fighters. Very different type of boxing. Very different. That Ali era, yeah, they were smaller, but they were fighting for 15 rounds. These guys, they gas out after 6. You know, so I don't really compare them. I just focus on what's here. Unless we're gonna do an all-time great kind of resume thing, then I have to compare them. But
that's a tough list to make, Jules.
Bro, that's what I'm trying to say. There's too much data to be accurate.
Yes, because you go to BoxRec, you'll see. You can go on BoxRec, you'll find fighters with over 100 fucking wins,
literally,
and only like 20, 30 losses.
But also, all-time greats also are not always what they make out to be, because Nicolino Loche is considered one of the all-time greats, but most of his fights were 10-rounders in a 15-round era. Most people don't know that. Yeah, defensive genius, blah, 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 but he mostly fought in 10-round fights. Mostly. So, like I said, it's too much data. It's too much data.
Plus, it's hard to just associate. Like, how can you determine caliber of fighter for over a generation? It's very difficult.
It is. But I will say that having seen, you know, the Ali fights, the Frazier fights, and the Ken Nortons and the Larry Holmeses, when you watch those fights and you watch how the fighters fight today, you have to agree that there's a difference. Those guys were mean and
look at fucking
nasty.
Sonny Liston. People like to shit on Sonny Liston,
Jules,
but he's a fucking sorry.
Well, people don't know, Jules. In that era of boxing, there was still cash fights on the side, in the gyms, on the under. Just there was a underground boxing where guys, I just want to stay busy. I blew my money. Let me make a quick 10 grand, guys. Let me just go this fight on the block.
Yeah.
That the local guy set up. So many boxers used to do that from the 1800s till about the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
When boxing even got more mainstream.
But it's just, I feel it's like the science did get better. I can't say that the science didn't get better. It did get better, but I just don't feel that today's athlete is as durable as yesterday's athlete, because there's more coddling in this era. Even in the NBA, that Jordan era is different from this crying ass shit. Yeah, it's different.
The science, I will agree there. I will agree. The science got better, but the purity of like what athletes were putting in their body back then was better. No additives, no nothing. Dude, Jules, these motherfuckers was fighting 40, 50 round fights.
They was
doing that more than 10 fucking times a year with none of this modern science.
I mean, when you think about it would be insane to see a fighter like a Duran, for example, who we often talk about, a fighter from 135 made it to middleweight. What the fuck is he, an animal? Like, could you imagine? Imagine, like, for all the Lomachenko love, and I got nothing against Vasyl Lomachenko, so don't misunderstand me. But imagine him going to middleweight. He'd get fucking killed.
Bro,
He'd
he
get
would have.
obliterated.
It would be a fucking chalk outline. It would be a chalk outline of Lomachenko.
He'd be a shit stain on the floor. He'd be a fucking streak. They splatter him.
I said
punch his head off
I
his
said
body,
this before. Put Harry motherfucking Greb in this era with modern training.
Exactly.
With modern equipment,
I said
at the welterweight division.
You know, I
Get
said the
Thurman-
same thing. I said the same thing about Marciano. And bear in mind, I'm not one of these guys that don't love Marciano, right? But if you ask me, was that a great physical specimen? Yes. And if you put him not in today's heavyweight division, he is far too small. But in today's cruiserweight division, nobody beats him.
Oh yeah, bro.
No one.
Rocky, bro.
No one. No one. When you see the gash that he fought with and he still won, bruh, they would have stopped that fight. In today's boxing era, with that shit, they would have, like, bro, look at his nose is hanging off his. Wasn't it his nose that was split?
Yeah, the stoppages nowadays suck. I don't know why.
Well, Jules, you put Henry Armstrong in this era, he might even be the super middleweight champ.
Bro, yeah, I mean, you got a guy in Sugar Ray Leonard, a guy everybody knows, but still, right? Think about it this way: started out at welterweight, went all the way up to super middleweight. None of these guys can do that. And I got nothing against them, but none of these guys can do that. And he was going at it with Donnie Lalonde. That was a good fight. He got knocked down in that fight. It was a good fight. But Crawford, I love Crawford, but he ain't going up to no super middleweight.
One of my favorite boxers of all time for when I was a kid was Sonny Liston. He just had that aura of like fucking animal. And like I don't see in people nowadays in boxers or heavyweights. Like, bro, he looked like his looks could kill you, man.
Oh, by the way, the Showtime
Even now,
documentary
Jules, like you bring.
Hold on, one at a time. Go ahead, Watsy.
No, what?
Hey, the Showtime documentary, Pariah, it was called. I think it came out like a year ago or something on Sonny Liston. It was a great documentary. Actually, go back and watch it if you haven't.
I saw that one. It's a very good doc.
His life story is so inspirational, and it has a very balanced take as well, you know. So all his involvements in more darker sides of boxing, but also how he came up and how he basically invented what Ivo was just talking about, that idea of beating your opponent before you even step into the ring, right? You know, by staring them down, basically putting the fear of God in them.
Bro, he's a crazy motherfucker to look at, bro. He fucking terrified. Bro, I would shit my pants being in the opposite ring with him, man.
Sonny's a bad dude, but for a perspective, all right, Donnie Lalonde was actually a light heavyweight that came down to super middleweight for Leonard. And I'm saying that, do you see guys have the physical prowess today as guys that start like Errol Spence? Let's use Errol as an example instead of Terrence, because Terrence moved up to welterweight. If we use Errol as an example, can Errol hack it as a super middleweight? Fuck no.
I
don't
think so,
man. You get fucking killed.
Does he beat Ozzy yielded him?
But fucking Leonard, Sugar Ray motherfucking Leonard, he did that shit. So when I look in the past, what I say is the guys were tougher, they were stronger, they was just made out of some different shit to be doing the shit they was doing, because you really don't see that anymore, bro. Like, no, you imagine welterweight going up to super middle. No way, fam. It won't happen.
I can kind of understand.
I think a reason though too, Jules, if I'm being honest, like the culture back then, with like there was fighters in the gyms training that were getting in trouble with the law, but they didn't get locked up. There was just more guys in the gym, more guys in training, and even I never heard of them, but they was there getting work with these guys. Can you imagine you put Finito Lopez, Chiquita Gonzalez, Carbajal with these young guys now? I feel bad that they didn't have the shine that like Bam and Niue are getting now, because that would have been crazy.
Listen, the most perverse example I can give of the difference between these generations of fighters, which is a big part of the reason why I don't compare them, because it's glaring. Imagine Roberto Duran and Ryan Garcia. Roberto Duran and George Kambosos. Roberto Duran and Vasil Lomachenko. You're not going to tell me with a straight face that they stand a chance against that man at 130. They don't.
Well, remember, Jules, as was stated by a very popular source, Duran was just a puncher.
Right. the speed, the footwork.
Keep it real. Like Durant in this era, how many dead bodies does he have on his resume?
I mean,
Bro, he
no,
would
but
fucking kill people.
even think about it. Like when because Durant is the quintessential pound for pound fighter, like a Henry Armstrong, and so on and so forth. He's that fighter to where I say, look, Durant would wipe his whole ass with almost everyone from 135 to 147 that is boxing today. How do I know? He beat Sugar Ray Leonard. Is Spence Sugar Ray Leonard? Is Keith Thurman Sugar Ray Leonard? Is Danny Garcia Sugar Ray? No, right? All right. So what the fuck are we talking about? He beat these guys, bro.
You remember Marvelous Marvin Hagler, bro? Oh man, I fucking love him. His fights are entertaining.
What fighters from today? What fighters from today do you think would be able to like kick it with those guys?
The only guy I see a very
recent.
I see a very short list of fighters, and I'm talking about the physicality, not the skills, the physicality. I think Terrence could be a 15-round fighter. I think Usyk can be a 15-round fighter. Those two, yeah, because I've seldom ever seen them get tired. Like I can't recall a time when I've seen Usyk like, yo, this dude look tired. I can't recall.
Even when he moved up to heavyweight in his like first ever bout of this heavyweight, he was good.
He's all right, you know. And when they're on their shit, like I've seldom ever seen those fighters get tired, and they have that dog. They're like, yo, Usyk don't gotta say a lot, bro. He gonna show you. Crawford you don't gotta say a lot. He gonna show you. That doesn't mean they go back there and they beat everybody. I think they can hang, is what I'm saying. Like they can hang back there, but like I said, it's a very short list. Thurman doesn't make it in yesterday's welterweight division to the top 20. Okay, just cut the fucking crap.
He's not gonna make it now.
He's not
gonna make it now, Jules.
I could put in that list. I could put Chocolatito in his prime.
I mean, Choco's a special fighter, man. He's a special fighter.
And Jules don't want him to fight Bam. I know it.
It's not that. It's that you misunderstand me. There's so much unfinished business at super flyweight between Choco and Ioka or Ioka and Estrada. That generation is still there. They're on their way out, but they're still there. So if you asked me, Jules, what would you rather see? Bam versus Choco or Choco versus Ioka? I want Choco versus Ioka. They should have fought a long time ago. They're from the same era. They're both 4-division champions. They're both very accomplished. That fight makes more sense to me than Bam, because I know what Bam versus Choco is. I know what that is.
It's your Nicaraguan heritage that's not letting you see correctly, bro, and that's why you don't want him to fight Bam.
Hey, Jules, you know what I want to see once again before I die? I want to see another Marvin Hagler versus Tommy Hearns kind of box.
And
I want to see
we don't get fights like yo, they fought. They wasn't fighting like boxers, bro. They fought like yo,
animals.
Like, did you do something to him? Like, what, you slapped his sister? Like, why y'all fighting like that?
Bro, that was
the first round. They was going crazy. It was crazy. He hurt Marvin in the first round.
It was a beautiful fight, man. That's the fight that I want to see again before I die, man. I want that kind of aggression, man. First rounder coming out guns a-blazing.
And they don't you don't see, you know, that people thought when Danny Garcia versus Thurman got made, people really thought that was going to be a shootout. And the disappointment, you know, because it started out okay when Thurman came out and he's rushing him and then it just turned out to be a wet fart. It was like a wet fart fight. Like, bro, this is
someone got a wet fart sound.
It's terrible, bro.
I can honestly say a lot of the fights I see nowadays, they pale in comparison to when I was a kid. And I'm not even being nostalgic. I'm talking objectively.
No, yeah. Gaddy versus Ward is probably the most overused example, but you tell me that you see fights. You don't see fights like that anymore. Listen, you don't see Ward versus Augustus fights anymore.
No, we don't even have a Barrera Morales in this era.
No.
But you know what the stoppages are so bad nowadays.
They are.
Very, they're like fighter gets a little hurt and like, you know, we're just gonna stop it. And now it's kind of normal to us now, but the stoppages the last 2 years they've been getting worse and worse.
Hey Jules, you're a boxing fan, right? So you know who I'm talking about when I say, bro, I want the Bronx Bull back.
talking about Jake LaMotta? Who?
Yeah,
Jake
Jake
LaMotta.
LaMotta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jake LaMotta. Yeah.
bro, I love that guy.
Jake was a bad motherfucker. Jake
Yeah, he
was a
was.
bad motherfucker.
Wild motherfucker.
He was a wild, yeah, outside the ring he was. But it's like they don't make fighters like that anymore because we're not a fighting nation. That's
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so I know a couple of old heads, and they all told me like one of them, he actually saw Sugar Ray Robinson fight in person when he was a kid. That's how old he is. And he's like the closest I ever seen to like a modern fighter that like comes in comparison to Sugar Ray would be Roy Jones. Is that true? Like, what do you guys think of that?
Can I say this? Sugar Ray Robinson is the equivalent to Pelé in soccer. Pelé was making shit in the field that cannot be done with that equipment when that training. If you put a guy, for example, the balls that we have now, they're more equipped for all that dribbling and all that shit that you can see it's soccer players do. But with that hard balls, there's almost impossible. You cannot do it. So Sugar Ray Robinson was so advanced for that time that you are not going to see a guy like that anywhere else.
You're not. Like, if you look at, there's only limited footage of Sugar on YouTube. Most of it is middleweight footage, but you can see that the guy, like, this guy's ahead of his time, this guy. And if you had a time machine and you brought him because to me, it's not just that they were tough fighters and all of that. As a physical specimen, those guys were made out of different fucking stuff, bro. These guys are like today's cars that are built to break. These guys today. Whereas those guys, they like an old Impala, bro. You shoot at that shit. The bullet will ricochet off the shit.
Hey, Jules, thanks for reminding me that my fucking truck's fucking exhaustion fucking fell. Let's not.
But no,
talk about that.
that's a good parallel, Sugar Ray Roy, because Sugar Ray had no athletic contemporary when he was fighting. He was just so he really couldn't test how good he was because nobody could compete with him athletically. And in Roy's prime, like Roy was like Jordan in his time. Like there was nobody that could compete with Roy athletically, so it got to be boring for him in a sense that there was nobody that could offer him worthy combat competition. He had to keep going up and down.
He didn't have a rival. That's what's weird about. Well, not weird, but that's something that is unique.
Unfortunate. It's unfortunate
that he didn't have a Pacquiao to his Mayweather, or a Trinidad to his De La Hoya, or a Morales to his Barrera, Gatti to. He didn't have that nemesis. He didn't have that. He was in a class by himself in his era.
Hey, Jules, can I ask you a
because look
question?
what he did to Hopkins. Look what he did to Tony. Like, and those are all-time greats. Like, that's what's unfortunate about it. Roy had nobody to like. Damn, how good am I?
Well, Burley, when it comes to Burley, and everybody knows that the feeling is that Sugar Ray ducked Burley, ducked Charlie Burley. But I always say this, it's a constant reminder that I can't base a career off of one fight that didn't happen, because Sugar Ray's body of work speaks for itself. So just because he didn't fight Charlie, I'm not going to make it's all right, bro. Floyd didn't fight Margarito, Gennady didn't fight Billy Joe Saunders.
One thing I can say is people nowadays, they say that, like, this is one thing that's pretty common in the fans like section. People want to say fighters want to be like Floyd Mayweather, but it's not true. Floyd Mayweather, when he was pretty boy, he fought champions.
He fought.
Like there was a reason he built up a fan base. It wasn't because he was ducking everyone.
But he's the one that made them forget that. Like, for as many times as me and you repeat it, and even he says it himself, that they want to be. It's to the point where it's nauseating. But you know why? You're the one that taught them that shit. They get it from you, bro. Look at your fighter's career. You're telling me his career is the same way that yours? No, it wasn't. You all about the shortcuts with your own fighter.
Bro, the funny thing is when I see Floyd compare himself to Tank, I'm like, bro, you're discrediting yourself, man.
Yeah. It's like you don't guide your own fighter's career the way that your career was. So when you say that, they want to be Money May without the pretty, but that's because of you, bro.
And
You
then
the one
he
that's
has
telling
no.
him that shit.
And the funny thing is, y'all, Jules, like that's pure insecurity and ego the way he's grooming these fighters. Because when he tried to sign Shakur, he put Shakur in his Bentley. Like Shakur's like, what the fuck is no? That's I don't want that. I want to be better than you.
I think that there were guys. I think there were a couple of kids, and they had the right people around them to keep them sharp. That they didn't buy into the I'm supposed to fucking grovel at fucking Floyd. I'm supposed to bro. You made some money. All right. You're not fucking God, and that's why if Shakur would have went with Floyd, he wouldn't be the Shakur he is today. I guarantee it. They would have fucked up his career. They would have fucked
Devin.
up. And Devin. They would have fucked up their shit. That's why it's good that they didn't go with him. He got Davis and whatever, bro, whatever. That man, as far as I could see, that dude is pushing 30, bro. Thomas, you on the clock, bro.
And I'm telling you, man, I hope to God,
You
I
know-
hope no one gets pissed off when he eventually loses, man, because it's a ticking time bomb.
You guys didn't know.
You know who else?
Hold on. The day Davis loses, Jules said he's going to go on a 24-hour nonstop live.
Oh, yeah, I was there.
I'm gonna laugh for like 24 hours, bro. I am though. No cap. I am.
I was going to say another fighter who I just found out escaped the clutches of Mayweather Promotions was Savannah Marshall.
Oh yeah, she was only there for one fight, and she said I think she said they weren't using her for anything, so she got up out of there, and it was an amicable split because she made her debut on the undercard of God, what was that? Maymac. That's where she debuted. Andrew Tabiti was on the undercard. She was on the undercard. It was her only fight under Mayweather Promotions. I don't even understand why they signed her if they weren't going to use her.
Now, Jules, what's going to be more satisfying? Seeing Tank lose, Errol Spence lose, or when Wilder got the shit beat out of him?
Tank. It'll be Tank.
Tank is the most artificial one. Like he's so unique in the sense that like he really is like a postmodern boxer where it is nothing but just like manufactured spectacle.
Yeah, Tank to me, it'll be more satisfying with Tank because Tank is everything that's wrong with boxing. If you really think about it, it's everything that's wrong with boxing. When he got the WBA title with super featherweight, that was 9 months after Alberto Machado beat Jezreel Corrales. And y'all literally demoted Alberto so that y'all could give Davis the super title. That's one of the most fucked up shits I ever seen in boxing. That's only one dick hair away from what they did to Rochigliani at the WBC. It's like, fam, like he won that fight. He beat.
There was no
Only
need
one
for
dick hair.
Do you think Gervonta Davis at that time would have lost to how the other guy's name?
Cuellar.
No, the guy that got stripped for the super title.
Oh, Jezreel Corrales, that he lost it on the scales.
Yeah. Okay. Machado has the opportunity to win the title, right?
Yeah, what basically happened was Jezreel blew the weight. He lost it on the scales, but the title was on the line for Machado. That's what they said. The title's still on the line for Machado.
My question is, do you think Machado will have win against Gervonta Davis?
No, he would have lost.
There was no need for that.
That's what pisses me off. Remember who beat Machado 2 times? Andrew Cancillo, the part-time boxer. So I'm like, yo, y'all did all this dumb shit when y'all could have just let the kid fight, bro. Let him fight. Y'all protected him to the point to where I think, he ain't no good anymore. He was good in 2017, but y'all fucked all that up.
Jules, I will not stand for this slander. He is a 3-division world champion.
Man, listen, man.
Tank's career.
I got a question. I don't know, Jules, if you're gonna cover this on the relay. I know you're happy. Everybody's happy. Tio got a win, but are you gonna? I don't see him at 140 being able to dominate the way he did at 35.
Yeah, but I felt that way from the very beginning before he even If you look when Taylor versus when there was before he lost, right? Before he lost to George, I said that like all those advantages that you have at lightweight, you're not gonna have them at super lightweight. So I hope you can box your way to a decision because you won't have the same power. You won't.
No.
That's how it works.
And with his dad in his corner, like, bro, like Prograis will fuck him up.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's gonna fight Prograis.
Prograis. What about Chone?
Let's see. Let's say Prograis beats Chong, right? You saw that he had 2 belts. He had 2 baby belts yesterday. A green belt, which will lead him to the winner of Prograis versus Zapata, and a brown belt that will lead him to the winner of Catterall versus Taylor. If it come down to the come down, what direction you think he's gonna go?
He'd rather go. Our top rank would make him fly across.
Yep, and didn't he just
by Taylor?
He said this week he wants to fight in the UK. Leading up to the fight, he said he wants to go to the UK. So I don't think
Josh can't come over here.
I don't think he would pick Prograis because Prograis doesn't have a network behind him. Josh does. He has Sky. They can pay T.O. to come over. But if it's Prograis, who the fuck, like, nah, I ain't fighting Prograis. Fuck yeah, shit, no.
Hey, Jules, Josh, do you think Josh, let me stick around and shut this fucking kid up before I leave?
Absolutely. What are his options at welterweight, bro? We was talking about this shit yesterday. You beat Catterall, and then what? What, you gonna go up to welterweight to fight who? Florian Marco? Who?
There is one thing I'm gonna say. I spent today because I've been self-quarantined all day. So I spent the day watching that fight again, just to recap. And I know it's his first fight. I know he'll become more conditioned over time, but he looks very beatable by like the top dogs in the weight class, like very easily beatable in my opinion.
Right now he does, and I'm not gonna disagree with you that he did. See, this is what I'm saying, right? He did look beatable yesterday, right? First fight at 140. I don't know how he's going to look in December. So before I evaluate Prograis or Zapata or Ramirez, I'm going to wait till December to see, okay, well, does he look better in December? Don't know. If he keeps looking how he looked yesterday, then yes, you look very beatable. You look like they can get you.
So I'll add to what you're saying, Jules, because you said it after the Lomachenko fight. You've been saying it. With the same with Haney, you don't like the way T.O. reacts when he gets hit.
I don't like the way either of them react. They look stunned. They not stunned to where they're woozy, stunned to where they're flustered. Like he looks flustered, whereas some other guys, they take a shot, they look all right.
Well, they look all right. There's a reason why I'm saying this, because I've seen a couple of channels, I'm not going to name names, that have kind of like jumped the gun, quote unquote, based off his performance yesterday. And I only say this just to say, if he doesn't have a sizable improvement and a better accommodation, the top dogs will eat him alive. And I'm saying this with love because I love the guy.
Well, you're saying that they're giving him a massive vote of confidence, you mean, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I got a question. Does that channel rhyme with lunch truck?
I'm neither going to confirm nor deny that.
Y'all keep that shit. Don't get me in no shit.
Yeah, I don't want no problems. I'm neither going to confirm nor deny that, but I am going to say, yeah. So I'm just saying, like, and like like to say that he looked perfect is a damn lie.
But wait. Let's say this though. Can I say this? Look.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Oscar Valdez arrived at 130, he didn't look good. The improvement from his first fight at 130 to the Burchell fight was a full 180, which is why I'm just like, nah, it was his first fight. He's gonna fight again in December. I'll wait on that, because if you remember I thought that Oscar was gonna get fucking killed by Burchell, bro, and he whooped his whole ass. If you would have based, like I did, like an idiot, if you would have based the Valdez versus Burchell fight based on Valdez's first fight at 130, of course you're gonna think he's gonna lose. It's his first fight there.
Now, let me ask you this, Jules. Is Joey Gamache back in the mix with them, or no? He's gone.
Not to my knowledge.
And that's what scares me. I know you're high on Joey, Jules. So am I. And the long as T.O. don't have nobody in the corner like that telling him the truth.
Bro, as long as his daddy is doing this dumb shit that I'm about to put back up, as long as his daddy doing this shit, it's problems, bro. It's fucking problems.
Bro took a Gatorade shower.
Problems, bro.
He took a Gatorade shower.
Yo, you would have thought he won the motherfucking playoffs or some shit. Like, yo, why? Like, yo, chill, my guy. Like,
because after that run of Coleman, Nakatani, Loma, like everybody's like, oh, Tio's it. Right now, I think Shakur would stop him.
Who, Tio?
Yes.
No, I think he'd outpoint him. I don't know if he'd stop him. I think he'd outpoint him. But I don't like to waste time on matchups that we're not close to. Because remember, if we look at a matchup, right, that isn't about to happen, we're basing it on what we're seeing now. We don't know what we're gonna see later. We know that this kid, and I'm not saying it to be nice to him. I'm saying it because it matters. He had a rough year. He needed a confidence-building fight. He's not going to look amazing his first fight at 140. You know, that's what I mean.
Jules, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is off topic as hell, but holy shit, look at that picture. You watched Dragon Ball as a kid?
Oh yeah, I watched Dragon Ball.
Tell me he's not about to fucking launch the biggest Kamehameha of all time, bro.
Bro, he looked like
he's going
Krillin in
Super
that picture.
Saiyan.
Bro, he's going Kaioken.
He's going Super Honduran.
Now, Will says it's almost. Let me read the super chat. Will says it's almost unfair to compare the old-time champions because Joe Gans is literally the only man with a statue in Madison Square Garden. Tank couldn't hope to be. Yeah, bro. They don't. I mean, well, they did build Wilder a statue, didn't they?
We don't talk about that.
Oh man. In any event,
I was gonna say I'm in.
Yeah, bro.
I was gonna say I'm in rare disagreement with the panel. I think Teofimo will at least unify the belts in this division. If this is how he looks like on a layoff, like the accuracy, his punch selection, and his counter punching, I think he can be a very good stylistic match out of the quote unquote big guys at 140. I do think that there's a clear separation between like Prograis and Taylor at this point in time. But Teofimo's 25 and Prograis and Taylor are approaching their mid-30s. So I think like if you do the math,
not in disagreement
if
with
he's
you,
moved
Julio.
correctly.
I'm not in disagreement with you because I think that people were, and I said it in the recap that it's like people were expecting him to look perfect. Like, bro, why would he look perfect? His first fight at the weight, coming off a loss, and a lot of psychological shit that was going on. Of course, he's not going to look perfect.
And what you said, brother, I don't disagree with you either. My point is, he looked how he was supposed to look after a long layoff and all the drama. What I'm saying is the actual intricacies and nuance of the science of boxing. His dad's not going to develop his skill set, and that's where he's going to be
right.
limited.
And I was actually gonna add to that. I think his main downfall will probably be his dad, and not just because of the antics, because I just don't think that he gives good instructions in the corner. I think Jorge Rubio should take over.
Just go out there and fuck him up. I remember that dumb shit.
Knock him out, bro. I said what I said about his performance just to establish that, like, I've seen people that have already started to make it look a lot better than what it actually was. And I get it. I get you have to be confident.
Okay. I get it. I do get it, though. I do get it. But, I mean, let me say this. When it's established that a member of the media is an unofficial member of the team, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean,
I just don't want. I don't want people to have this again. Again, we're basing this off what could potentially be what is. I'm just saying, as it stands right now, don't make it something bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah, look. All right, because I don't want to start no shit. I'm just saying that when you go as far, anyone and everyone who went as far as qualifying franchise as a legitimate title, that kind of says it all, doesn't it? That shows that, like, yo, dog, you willing to say anything? Because franchise, I didn't qualify franchise when Canelo had it. You think I'm going to qualify it when Tio has it? No.
There's a reason why Teofimo Lopez was never undisputed in that weight class after Vasily Lomachenko.
Was it fucking undisputed, bro? It was never a difficult argument. Franchise is not the world title. To be undisputed, and Canelo showed ya, to be undisputed, you need the world titles. That's why he made sure to pick all of them up. Not the French fry. He already had the French fry.
And also
did the WBC get rid of him?
Yeah, they did.
The WBC didn't improve that situation. It made everything more confusing because the WBC made another belt besides the franchise belt. It made a super WBC title. I give it to Teofimo.
Yeah,
doesn't matter if the WBC made 3, 4, 5 titles to give it to Teofimo Lopez. Is Devin Haney title. that is the one that is unified.
That's the one you need, and it was never in question that you need the alphabet titles. That's the ones you need. Why? Because the other organizations have to recognize it, and they tried to make just the stupid argument. Well, the WBC the WBC does not decide. The IBF has to recognize it. The WBO has to recognize it. The WBA has to recognize it. And when I go to their sites to see who do they recognize as the WBC champion, it's Devin Haney.
And
So
people don't understand why that is important, because if a belt is not unifiable, the WBC made belts like they are changing pants or something.
Yep.
The WBS have 3 or 4, 5 belts till they try to put him in check. So if the sanctioning bodies have the authority to make belts from nothing, you have to have a system that assure that your belt means something. That is why
Exactly.
you have to consider if the belt is unifiable or not, because the WBC can say whatever they want.
They can manufacture belts till the cows come home, but without the recognition of the other alphabets, it doesn't matter. So when you go to their websites and you see that they have Devin Haney listed as the WBC champion, that already told you right then and there, no, Tio's not undisputed, because they don't recognize the franchise title. If you had a franchise champion, for example, was Canelo Alvarez versus Sergey Kovalev a unification match? It wasn't a unification match, right?
Nope.
It wasn't billed as a unification match. Why? Because the
Because it
WBO
wasn't.
didn't recognize the franchise belt.
Again, and this is like pretty common knowledge. Like, the baby belts are not the real thing. There's a reason why we all call them the baby belts.
You know what the president of the WBO said upon the inception of the franchise designation? He said the WBC need to stop producing these fucking Palooka belts. That's what Paco said, because they didn't recognize it. So if the only version of the belt that you had was the WBC franchise, the WBO didn't recognize you as no fucking undisputed. Neither did the IBF. When I went to their website, who was the WBC champion they recognized? Devin Haney. It's an open and shut case. It always was.
Exactly. This is not something that should be blown out of proportions. This is pretty
And do
common
these-
like sense.
Okay,
And
maybe
do
people.
hold on. I
Okay.
just want to ask a question. Do these designations, do they have sanctioning fees attached to them?
No one knows. No
If
one
it does,
knows.
then it's a scam.
Okay, I have to say I don't think it's a scam, because if you have a belt, even if it's a fake one, you have promoted your belt like you are a world champion, and that might translate to money, especially if you're talking about TV networks that
Mhm.
really like belts. If
Mhm.
your belt is in the line, you can promote the fight better that there is no belt.
True. But
So,
in
in
a
that
manner
case-
of all right, here's the scam. It's not the franchise champion that's being scammed. It's everyone other than the franchise champion. Why? These guys are paying you sanctioning fees. The whole process of, especially with the WBC, more so than other organizations, it's a scam because they insist on collecting sanctioning fees from all these different fighters that are ranked for the promise of an eventual title shot. But how many times do we see a guy get fucked that don't get the title shot, even though they've been paying the sanctioning fees and fighting in the eliminators, and then when the time comes, some bullshit happens?
Yeah, but look at
Way too
Gervonta
many times
Davis.
to count.
Gervonta Davis doesn't have any intention to fight for a real title, but he calls himself a world champion, a real world champion, and people call him a real world champion. So there is a need to really fight the real champion. If you can call yourself a real champion, and you can ask for the money that a real champion makes.
Let's say this, Leo. What saves Gervonta Davis is he is making money, not great money, not huge money, but it's enough that he doesn't place any value on fighting for a full title, because if he wasn't making money, then he would have to chase down a champion.
Yeah.
if he wasn't making money. What saves him is he has a cult of morons who think that he's the greatest thing ever. And he makes enough money that he doesn't want to fight for a title.
Calling him
He has a cult of morons that believes that belt means something.
Yes,
it's disingenuous to say he's a 3-division world champion. It really is.
It is. That's but that's the hustle, and that's why even though Leonard doesn't place any emphasis on Devin Haney's belts, right? He's doing what he's got to do to make sure Davis got a baby belt, though. He's doing what he got to do.
You know, precisional power made a fantastic point. Regular, super, extra large. Well, yeah, it's true. It's like a fucking McDonald's. Goddamn.
Yeah, it is, though. It is. And on that note, gentlemen, I'm going to go to sleep. It's been a pleasure. Catch you on the next live. And I will be going live for next week's mega fight. Y'all better get ready. It's going to be a lot of nail biting. It's going to be a lot of cursing. People going to die. People going to get shot. It's going to be great.
And the price of admission is only a subscription to the Zone, $20.
$20.
Get it right, fellas. He's gonna grab some ass and then go to sleep.
I am. I'm actually see if I get some ass because she mad. I'll see y'all.
That jail blaster about to get
guys.
fucking over.